Oh, we're getting word here. One more award. I'm sorry about that. This award it's actually like kind of a medical award. It's most likely to have a heart attack or a myocardial infarction after smoking too much weed. Now this award, you have to have certain criteria. You have to be morbidly obese, you have to be sedentary, you have to be just sitting there constantly, daily, day in, day out. It's a special award. And basically you have to smoke so much weed that you will likely die from a myocardial infarction or a heart attack. And that's Brian McClay from Beyond Wednesdays. Congratulations, Brian. You don't have much longer in this mortal coil. I congratulate you on your sedentary lifestyle.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation.
The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
The top talents in the comic book business are here to tell everything they know.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Tuesday night, another Industry of Comics show. We have a new combatant into the Thunderdome that is the Industry of Comics. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome JC Troll from Trolls Comics. How you doing,
What's going
brother?
on, everybody? What's going on?
Good to have you here, man.
I'm happy to be here, man. I feel like I've just been lurking on Instagram. I gotta, pop on YouTube from time to time.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I'll tell you one thing. We have a lot to talk about tonight. There is, and it's one story that's probably going to last most of the night, which is very interesting. And I don't know if many viewers out there have been paying attention. I'm sure you have, because I've gotten a ton of messages about all this stuff. But basically, we're talking about a major policy change from DC Comics that could completely change how retailer exclusives variants are sold, which is very interesting. DC has updated its retailer exclusive variant terms and conditions, and while they're not outright capping prices, they are I don't know what's the way to put it, but they're strongly encouraging retailers to sell unsigned exclusives for no more than $5 and signed copies for no more than 10 times cover price. And more importantly, DC is saying retailers who ignore these guidelines could lose the ability to produce future DC exclusive variants altogether, which is very interesting. We're going to get really deep into that one as well. The move appears to be a direct response to the massive success of Absolute Batman and some retailer exclusives that were selling for huge markups immediately after release. We saw that with the Heavy Mental release of Dan Quintana. The reaction has been all over the place. Many collectors love it because they think it'll curb price gouging and make exclusives more accessible. But on the other hand, many retailers are arguing that taking on all the financial risk of commissioning these books at higher prices sometimes necessary to cover the costs. The biggest question everyone is asking is, how does DC actually enforce this? Does it apply to eBay, whatnot, live auctions? Where is it actually, and where's the line between the market demand and price gouging? So that's what we're going to dig into tonight. It's going to be very interesting, fun show. And we got some good retailers on the show to talk about it, which is going to be nice. So
Who are the good retailers?
Yeah, who are those guys?
What?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I must leave.
Yeah.
Same. I'm out.
So I'm not a retailer, so I got to ask first off the bat, did they reach out to you guys by email on this? Anyone?
No, I didn't get anything.
So I found out about it from the artist Anazuo, right? So she loves my videos, and she saw the Bleeding Cool article, and she's like, yo, check this out. And I was like, oh, no way. So I made a video about it, and it blew up, man. Like a lot of my videos have been going crazy, but people really resonated with the story. It's crazy.
So
it is nuts.
They must have dropped this to Bleeding Cool.
Of course.
Yeah. I didn't get no email or anything.
No.
But it doesn't really pertain to us. But I think if we do one in the future, they'll probably drop something like this in the email, kind of guidelines or something. But not necessarily, no. It's pretty.
Well, that's kind of a problem, right? To begin with, if you're going to push out this new policy change, shouldn't DC be contacting you retailers? Right?
I think.
Well, there's been a lot of miscommunication issues over there. So they raised the price for exclusives that were coming out during a certain time frame, which just so happened to magically coincide with San Diego SDCC, right? And not everybody got that email either. Like, I talked to my retailer buddies. I'm like, hey, did you hear about the price increase? And they're like, what price increase? And I'm like, bro, you didn't know? He's like, no, I wasn't on that email chain. And it's like, okay, so does that mean like this was sent out and I just happened to not be on this email chain too? Like, I don't know. It's pretty odd if you ask me. But
well,
anyway.
It's also very obvious that this is in reaction to the craziness that's been happening with Dan Quintana, Mark Brooks. And we're going to get into the whole Mark Brooks fiasco in a little bit, which makes it even crazier. But when the whole Dan Quintana thing happened with the Heavy Mental, what was that, Absolute Batman 19 drop, which kind of, caused a lot of people to ask questions. Hey, what's going on here? We heard rumors behind the scenes that DC was not happy, and that they may have even kind of told Dan, hey, if you want to continue to work with DC, here's how it's going to work. You're going to do less retailer exclusive variants, and we'll just put you on open order variants or ratio variants over here. And we don't want you working with as many other retailers, and especially retailers that cause quote unquote problems, right? And what are those problems? Well, now we notice those problems: price gouging. Okay. And the very interesting part about this is the vast majority of people that I talk to, retailers that I talk to about this, they say, well, who's to say it's price gouging, right? Who's to say like this is price gouging and this isn't? And that's a big part of this whole thing, because if you look deep into, the written word that DC has put out through Bleeding Cool, it's hard to understand a little bit, because they say that a retailer can sell their book for whatever they want. They're not telling the retailer, what they can sell it for, and they can't sell it for. But if they don't like it, there's a chance that you could get in trouble. Did you guys take it that way when you guys read this? Yeah, that's what it felt like.
It sounds like a threat.
No, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, sorry. It just sounds like a threat. It sounds like they're like, I highly suggest you do this if you catch my drift. Like a mafia dude. Like, if I was you, I would, give me some extra money this week. I'm just saying, it'd be a shame if something happened to your family. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like kind of one of those things.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get whacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ain't gonna find your site no more.
Well, and here's another thing I would love to see is when it comes time to actually, I've got to have so many thoughts on this, right? It's hard to organize them into some kind of reason and logic. But here's the big problem now is, are they going to enforce it to these guys like, the Mark Brooks and the Felix and the big guys that can put up a book and everybody freaks out and they're like, oh, I have to get this for $80 a trade dress because people are idiots. So the next time they do that, which is going to happen, are they going to cut them off? Because if I see someone do that and then they have another exclusive, it's going to be like, oh, DC's just full of crap. It was an empty threat. Or they're going after
pick and choose.
Yeah, the little guys, whatever. They're going after everyone else. Like, so many problems.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, for people in the chat that don't know, like, it costs over $20,000 doing Absolute Batman. So you think about it, every 4 retailers they knock off, DC's losing $100,000. You know what I mean? So, and people keep saying in my comments, like, oh, this is just going to have DC just, do exclusives by themselves and cut everybody out. And I'm like, you don't realize how much it takes. Like, even when Sean will tell you, when you have your own exclusive, right? There's so much trading going on between different retailers, because I might have 500 people that buy off me that have no clue who Sean is. And Sean will have 500 people that have no clue who I am. And that trading of books is what, gets everybody's stuff out. So it's not like, so DC needs everybody to help out with the ecosystem. So everybody that thinks that DC is just going to throw everybody's, stuff on a website, what I mean? And it's
that's not a thing. I hear a lot of people say, especially in comment sections, a lot of people say a lot of weird shit. It's like, no, that's not even a thing. There's no way DC is going to host 50. Even they used to do a team variant. Remember the team variants? Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
You had to buy 250, and then you would get part of this team variant. They all sucked. They were $5 each. DC makes about, my estimate, I don't know. Let me be careful with my phrase here. I don't know, but I assume by my ignorant estimations based on nothing but my own knowledge, they're clearing at least 15K for these exclusives. Like easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's the golden goose.
Easily clear 15K, if not more. Yeah, DC makes that per exclusive. Now I don't mean variant. So let's clarify a couple things here. I was talking about this earlier with Brian and Emmett. So what issue was it that came out when they was like, there's 120 exclusives or 120
or
variants?
19.
20, yeah. Issue 20.
So, but that's not right. What they're doing is they're counting, if I do a trade and a virgin and a foil and a spot foil, they're counting that as 4 variants.
Yeah.
Which I guess technically it is because it's a variant of an issue. But when we think variants, we think a retailer exclusive variant. So you're thinking, okay, if I have one and Chol has one and Brian has one, that's 3. We don't think about it as, oh, we each did 4 covers, so that's 12 variants. We don't think about it that way. So when they say there's 120 variants, that's very misleading. So that's kind of also a thing where people in the interwebs freak out about it. 120, that's ridiculous. I agree, it would be ridiculous, but there's not 120 artists creating 120 different pieces of art for these covers. It's not happening.
Well,
I would say on the regular books that they probably make about 60 cents a book, and that on store exclusives they probably make $1.20. They probably make double for store exclusives.
Yeah, I had a
per book.
Yeah, I had a sheet did up. I have to find it, but long story short, when I was publishing through Lunar, first off, 50% discount. So if a book is $5, I'm getting $2.50.
Yep.
Minus what Lunar's take is.
Yep.
Can't disclose it, but it's it's there. Minus what they take. So now my profit is let's call it $2 a book on a $2.50 book, maybe. But then the printing cost. So let's say if I get some printing for 70 cents, $1.30 meat on the bone, how many copies do I got to sell for $1.30 profit to pay for the $5,000 it costs just to produce a quality book and pay the artist and pay the cover artist and the writer, because everyone wants everyone to get paid, right? So that's another thing people will come out of the woodwork and complain about.
Yeah, when you were doing your numbers there, you were just talking about printing. You weren't talking about the artist, the cover artist, or the writer.
No,
and
none of that.
And you don't have DC's payroll, but you have a way bigger payroll than me, but you don't have DC's payroll and all those people they have to pay. I would say that I think I'm being generous at 60 cents a book.
Yeah,
I think they might not make anything.
And but their printing cost is also so low. Like they're getting, when we say make, that's what they get to pay all their bills with. Like you said, the production of the book, and there's license, there's deals worked into these guys, these creators, where they get royalties and stuff like that. They got to pay. But anyways,
a lot of them in perpetuity.
Yeah, some in perpetuity. So, like Brian said, getting back to the start of all this insanity, with the Quintana thing with Heavy Mental, and it goes nuts. Everybody's freaking out. What's happening? I think if that would have happened, and then if they would have been smart about the second drop that they did, I don't think this would be as bad. But what happened is Dickface over there doesn't know what he's doing. So I'll call him that to his face. I never met the guy, I don't think. But if I do, I'll call him to his face. Because he's acting like, anyway. He tried to be super greedy and try to do these escalated drops, and I'm going to charge more, but I'm going to charge less, and be confusing about it, and just trying to just rake in this money with the artist sitting right there, knowing this is happening, and just keeping his head down like he's oblivious. Don't mind me, just over here doing some remarks that we're going to sell for $3,000. So that second one made it almost even worse, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it made it almost even worse because the greed went crazy. Then you got Scott responded with his great comment giveaway of 2026, gave away all those books, free grading, free signatures.
He just did another one.
Yeah, but that got fucked up. That got fucked up by Mr. Mark Brooks. Yeah. Like, what the fuck was he thinking?
What happened with that one?
Mark Brooks was there at the event, and he was telling everybody to quit complaining about this bullshit and that bullshit, and maybe if you quit crying about stuff and all kinds of stuff. He basically put his foot in
live on the whatnot.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I was telling everybody that was with them. I'm like, yo, don't mention to Mark Brooks that you know me, bro.
So that's, and then he did the great giveaway, and then he did another one. But again, the problem is greed. And I remember when we were in the military. I know it was a long time ago, you old bastard, but remember when you were in the military?
Yeah.
And one person would do something stupid, and then they make a policy that affects the entire unit or command or the entire branch of service. Because one guy does something stupid, there's a knee-jerk reaction because some general has to be like, oh, here's what I did in response to this, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what that feels like.
It worked, though.
Well, ask those guys wearing helmets and flak jackets trying to drive a 7-ton truck why they're wearing helmets and flak jackets. You can't turn your head this way because, anyway. It's pretty bad. This feels like very much a knee-jerk reaction. This was not thought through. I have a million questions. There's probably some ridiculous workarounds. We're going to talk about that. I love what you were saying earlier, Emmett, about the spirit of the letter and that kind of stuff. That's a military thing too, but it's just bad all around. And go ahead, Brian. I've been rambling. Go for it.
Well, I want to get to each part, pretty much without reading the whole thing because it's long lawyer speak for the most part. But I want to start off with the price guidelines, right? Because that's the big thing that catches everybody right away. So the way that they say it is they strongly encourage retailers to sell unsigned exclusives for no more than 5 times cover price and signed exclusives for no more than 10 times cover price. So let's think about that. We've been talking on this channel for a long time about that sweet spot for retailer exclusives. I feel like there's a sweet spot for prices on retailer exclusive variants. And I feel like that sweet spot is $20 to $35. I think anything over $35, you have to have something pretty damn amazing to sell for more than $35 a book, right? So if that's DC saying, okay, 5 times. Well, what's their comic books? They're what, $4.99 a piece? So that's $25. That's right in that sweet spot.
$6.99.
Okay, so
cover B's are $6.
Yeah, and foils are sometimes $7.99.
So let's say that
books foil,
they're in that sweet spot of $25 to $35, which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, right? I'm not a retailer though, so I want to preface this by saying I'm okay with it, but I'm not a retailer. The signed ones, they're saying 50 max. Well, that can be different. What if there's
60.
3? What if 10 times cover price? So $4.99. Yeah. So if you got 4 signatures on there, is it 40 times? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, what if the signature cost $100? Ryan Otley charges $50 a signature now. You're going to lose money.
MegaCom was charging $80 anything Absolute Batman. You know what I mean? So what do you do then?
Yeah,
you walk away.
Well, I was in his line. I walked away.
You walk away. You walk away doing this on the way out.
Is DC going to tell their creators that you can't charge this much anymore? I bet you they don't.
Oh no.
No.
Man, it's going to be. I think that for those who know, if you have a guilty conscience, you're reading this right now, like, oh shit, right? Because I know none of us on here will do that, and most people in the comments, don't do that. It's for the select few that know, like, this is why DC put it out. Like, you know who you are. You know.
Sometimes I use a lot of hyperbolic language when I'm doing videos to see who it's in their feelings, right? Like, so the people who super react to something I say, I'm like, oh, you are doing
what I wanted you to do.
You know exactly who you are, and you're mad that I pointed it out.
Matthew Waite has another great comment. He says, "What about 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s, and 1 in 100s? You know, those are $4.99 price books."
Yeah, but those aren't retail exclusive. That doesn't fall into it. I mean, it's a good
Yeah,
point.
I get it. Okay,
It
but
doesn't
signed.
cover-
So these are only for retailer exclusives. You're right. I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, like you
I sell
said,
mine
this
for
is
cover
a
price anyway. So
this is a knee-jerk reaction,
I will buy
right?
every one of your ratios for all of time.
Yeah,
oh yeah, for real.
2 subscribers.
I'll pay you $1 over cover price on it.
It's funny you say that it's a knee-jerk reaction, right? So the heavy mental thing happened a couple months ago, you know, and there was nothing, crickets. What it all comes down to is the timing with this Mark Brooks post, okay?
Yes.
And I've been hearing more and more that there's a couple people at DC that follow me, seen my video, and all of a sudden Mark Brooks' post is down. You know what I mean? So DC at the end of the day cares about their money, right? And Mark Brooks is trying to start a revolution of, you know, you deserve more, artists. But guess what? Right now, he's not calling out DC because he doesn't have, you know what I mean?
That's his bread and butter.
Back from everybody. That's his bread and butter. So he'll take $500 for a cover from DC, go and charge a retailer $15,000. But that's what I wanted to say to Mark was, dude, just answer the question. Why wouldn't you call out DC? Because you know that if you did, you wouldn't be able to do these covers anymore.
So is Mark going to follow these price guidelines? Because his books don't follow these price guidelines right now, right?
No, I was just about to say that. The last drop he just did was what, 50 a trade?
Yeah.
And then like I said, they printed 1,000, they cut it down to 750, and it was $50 each because this is what, God, it still irks me. His whole little, we're giving back to the fans. Fuck off with that giving back to the fans bullshit. You ain't giving back to nobody except for your wallet. You know it's going to be limited to 7. And he didn't even make those decisions. That was his management team. I know those guys well. They're smart as fuck. They know how to make their people money. They know the market. They set all that up. And Mark's just over there running his mouth in the background.
Giving back to the fans is doing it for free. That's what giving back to the fans is.
Giving back to the fans would be doing it for even at $20.
Yeah.
Print all 3,000 and do it at $20 a pop.
This goes back to, this is gig economy. The artists work for DC, but he's not by making his own. But when they're working for doing regular variants, they only get, you know, that's why everybody has to be topped off because they're only getting a certain amount. Instead of going to DC, I'm not working for you anymore unless you pay me this much. No, because they don't stick together. They're always elbowing each other. No, the fans, that's who they want to suck the money out of. Right?
Well, here's the thing,
not their bosses.
Mark Brooks,
he
shuffled, like he made so many people in DC. Like, what if all these artists turn on us and are like, I want a percentage of all these books that we're doing, okay, on top of the 500, and pull it, you know, what Todd did with Image and everybody leaving, starting their own company. Like, stuff like that happens and they're trying to shut it down. Like, so if you don't have all of these people making all this extra money to pay artists on top of it, you know what I mean? You can't go and dump that in there. And then, like I said, Mark took down that post pretty quick because somebody got in his ear. Mark, trust me, Mark, like, he thinks very highly about what he says. Okay. There's not, he does not want to take nothing down. So somebody was like, bro, you need to take that shit down right now.
Well, so here's a couple, Matthew White in the comments. Is CSA Paint, that stands for Comic Sketch Art. They're probably the biggest rep company in the industry, period.
Oh yeah.
Are they paying for exclusives, or is Mark doing it out of his own pocket? Here's how this works: is they sell it, they raise the money, and that pays for the book. So they're really technically no one's paying for it out of pocket because that money is made and it's in their account before that invoice is even due. That's why we all do pre-sales.
Profits. Yeah.
And they're probably just Mark gets a cut, they get a cut. There's deals worked out there. You know, I've done that with artists before, not with Marvel or DC, but I'll split a book with them. They'll do it. We all do crack deals like that. Hey, you do it for a reduced fee or draw the cover for free. I'll sell it. We'll do more of a profit share. I need you to sign all these books for free, plus do some remarks. We'll do the fulfillment. You do this. We'll split it 50-50 or 60-40.
I think the most interesting part about the price part is that they don't say that they're going to outright ban higher prices, right? They say we may stop doing business with you. And this goes back to, let's go back to the Battle Beast blind bags, where there's all these people opening up before street date, and it brought Lunar to come out and say, hey, we're gonna penalize people that sell before street date. And we never heard about anybody getting penalized, right? So DC is kind of doing the same thing, where they're saying, hey, we're gonna penalize people that get price gouge. Well, I'll believe it when I see the first person get busted. You know what I mean? Like, is that going to happen? Yeah. Are you going to make it? And here's the thing. If Mark Brooks price gouges on those books, he should be the first fucking example.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I think that you're going to hear a lot of other retailers and a lot of influencers and a lot of fans who are just going to fucking call it straight out. And that, you could put yourself out of business. If everybody rallies against you, I mean, it's just going to be tough.
I hate it.
The problem is this. Like, go ahead, Brian. You hate what?
Well, I was just going to say real quick. I hate when like your favorite artists become like douchebags. Like a perfect example is Mark Brooks. I'm such a fan of Mark Brooks, and he's becoming this evil guy in my mind all of a sudden. It's like Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor. I'm a huge fucking Nine Inch Nails fan and Trent Reznor fan, but the guy says some stupid shit to where like I'm not a fan of Trent Reznor anymore. You know what I mean? Like that sucks. I hate when that happens. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
I'm a fan of Mark Brooks too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Anybody want some original art? This is original art.
half price today.
I would take it.
I should have went and got my Phoenix and White Queen original art. I got it. I'm a huge Mark Brooks fan. I sold so many of his variants and exclusives. My second date with my wife, we hung out with Mark Brooks on our second date with my wife.
Wow.
I know Mark. I would consider him a friend. And when I see him in person, I'd be like, dude, if you don't hate me, we need to talk about this because you're being a fucking ding dong right now. Like, yeah. Anyway,
but we don't know what's going on in his life. Is his kid's in college and he really needs to make this money?
Yeah, we said that about Mayhew too. But like at some point, it
doesn't mean to be an asshole.
Yeah.
No, I know, but he needs somebody in his circle. But listen, everybody surrounds themselves with yes men now.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
so like everybody who's sucking money out of his soul is the people that's around him. All these companies who are like, this is how we do it.
You can't blame money on how people are, though. Money just shows you who people really are.
I always that's true. I always say money will bring out someone's true character when you have it and when you don't have it. That's when your true character comes out.
Shout out to Love for Comics, who just dropped a super chat. He says they say never meet your heroes, and I hate that. I hate that that saying is out there. You know what I mean? Because if I would have felt that way about all the heroes that I've met in my life, only like 1 out of 10 of them is a douchebag. You know what I mean? And it sucks that those 1 out of those 10 treat their fans that way. And we see that a lot in the comics industry. We've talked about we've talked a lot about how you go to these cons and some of the best creators are the ones that are standing at their table and that just that are nice to you, talk to you, ask you questions, smile, this and that. You walk up to somebody who's sitting at their table with their head down and doesn't want to do anything and doesn't want to say anything. It's like, oh, okay. So like, man, it sucks when it's, you go to meet somebody that you really have a lot of respect for, and they feel it that way. And I get it. Emmett is right. They could be going through some shit. They could be having to make some extra money and this and that. I get that. But still.
It's not an excuse. It's just it's a thing that's in there. And, they, instead of trying to build something bigger for longer, they need to make
a lot of money right now.
Right now.
But that's where the greed comes out. That's what happened with Heavy Mental. Was he got freaking super greedy. He was seeing dollar signs. He's adding up numbers on a spreadsheet, being like, oh, we're going to make this much money. We can pay off our house.
Listen to the 90s. Like when comic shops were letting guys buy cases of number ones from Image. Oh, you want a case? Sure, put you down. Thanks. Just pay the bill. It was terrible for the business. Terrible.
Shout out to my boy Rye with the super chat. He says, I think a big part of it is they want to tap into celebrity status. Being a quote unquote heel is a good way to do it. And you're right on that one, Rye. You're 100% right on
Absolutely.
that one. Yeah.
Look at Ethan Van Sciver.
Yeah. Yep.
He built a whole career off of
being a heel.
I mean, he rightfully got screwed
and
over,
speaking of Mark Brooks, there's another perfect example of like Ethan played the heel role and trapped Mark Brooks in that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just again, you're 100% right. Right. There is that heel role. It doesn't always work though. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tried saying to Mike Mayhew, like, yeah, dude, you're driving a lot of people to your shows now because of what you're talking about. But the second he started saying that, fuck the customers, I don't care about you, don't buy my shit, like that was the stupidest thing he did. Like, I'm like, whoa, bro, like you can tell retailers to F off and everything else, but not the people that are supporting your art, that are diehard Mike Mayhew. Like, why would you do that? Like,
well, Mike also said double your prices. Can't do that anymore.
Yep.
So there's a few things that have created this scenario right now. First off, there is the problem of every person that's ever paid an exorbitant, that word, a super high price for an exclusive. Shame on you. You're to blame. If you're in these Quintana drops trying to get a comic for $80 for a trade dress, the dude that paid $16,000 stupid dollars for that stupid remark on it or sketch on a cover, that's part of the problem, in my opinion, is people that are supporting it. Just like when who's that dude that we can barely understand? He just got arrested. Just forgot his name. He was a scammer. He was on the show.
Epic Nation.
Just like Epic Nation. Up until the minute he got kicked off and whatnot, there's people in his chat championing him, saying how great he is, still buying books from him, being in his corner, even though the evidence is there. This guy's a scammer. Anyone that's been overpaying for these books, shame on you. Anyone that rushed to Mark Brooks's website to pay $50 for a trade dress, limited to $750. Again, that's part of the problem. Is these guys you're buying into this, and then people want to complain about it. These variants are out of control. Then stop buying those. Just like I used to tell stores, same thing. I don't like retailer variants. Then stop buying them.
Yeah.
Or I don't like the cover A, B, C, D. There's too many variants. Then stop buying the variants.
I had a perfect comment in my videos. Some guy was like, when I go to the supermarket and there's all these cheeses, all right, and I pick out my cheese, right? I'm not saying, why they make so many cheeses? All right. I'm sick of all these cheeses.
Yeah, I like that.
More choices. Yeah.
So B Selden, I probably fucked up your name. I'm sorry, bro. In the
That's
chat,
Brad Selden. Yeah.
There you go. I do have a saying. I say, buy what you like, collect what you want. You're absolutely right. If you want to pay $80 for a Quintana cover, go for it. It's your money. If you like it and you want to spend it, go for it. It's a bad idea. I will advise against it all day. I think it's part of a problem. But hey, if you like it, you can buy it. I encourage people to buy what they want, but do be smart about it, guys. Be smart about what you're doing.
Well, let's get into the second part of this that's very interesting. And this one is like the underlying thing that nobody's really talking about. Troll, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but that's that DC can use your artwork as a artist or a retailer for whatever they want, right? Retailers commissioning exclusive covers can now grant DC broad rights to use the artwork in advertising, merchandise, promotional material, posters, marketing, without any additional compensation.
Bro, so real quick, I'll take over on this one real quick. Not that I haven't been dominating this whole show anyway. Sorry, guys. That's a non-story, dude, because it's always been that way. It's always been that way. You can always use. There was a thing that said they won't use it in any American published comic book or something like that. They won't publish the comic cover again. But I've had 2 retail exclusives be used as the cover of trade paperbacks, which I thought was really cool. I thought it was like, oh, sweet, that's my retail exclusive, and it's the cover of the trade paperback. One was a Ryan Brown Joker puzzle box. The other one was a Batman cover. But it's the only thing is they can't use it is on another comic book.
No, here's the thing. They just updated it to say they can make a black and white variant now. That's why they updated it. That's the whole thing. They always would use it for merch or for trades. They're straight up
Toys.
saying we could go and say Absolute Batman 23. We're using
Did Nick
Comics League
Marucci
cover
just go to work
as a
for
black and white,
DC?
you know? Which
Well-
would kind of be cool to, you know what I mean? You could be like, that's my cover, but you know, you're not getting a dime out of it.
You're
but
competing. It's
yeah.
competing against you.
Some people
That
are
wouldn't
okay.
be cool.
That
I'd
wouldn't
be
be
highly
cool.
pissed
Yeah.
if they did that.
No,
Well,
I'd be livid.
Unless you
I'm
had
like-
a play in it. Unless you had a play in it. Otherwise, I agree with you.
The professional thing to do would be reach out to the retailer. Hey, we're thinking about doing this.
They won't.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
want
and
first
then-
dibs at it?
The right thing to do would be we're going to pay for the artist. We've decided you came up with it, that it's really good and we're going to do a black and white. We'll pay for the artist. You still buy your books, but you don't have to pay the artist.
They already do that. They already pay the artist. That's just worked into the cost of the retailer exclusive. But
Yeah,
what we will get
DC
to is
The top off.
the top off shit. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's got to
they
be a
won't
badass cover though.
but they won't say that they're going to top the artist off because that's not even supposed to be happening.
Right.
Period.
But back to
So
what
it's
you were
gonna be a
saying about
discount,
all the
right?
other companies do it. So when White Sky came out, Presto's Comic Shop did an exclusive, right? And they took that image and made it, I think, black and white, and went and gave it as a retailer one per store variant
Wow.
without telling her.
Yeah, it's
And
not
there was a
cool.
whole big thing. The artist went up hitting her up like, why did you put this out? Blah, blah. Like, she's like, I had no clue. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's bad
all these
practice.
yeah, dude.
That's very bad practice. Well,
So-
it'll be interesting to see if that actually
Who's the
happens.
publisher for White Sky?
Image.
Image.
Yeah, Image should know better. That's crazy.
So
Yeah, but that's the Image is more the decision of the two creators who own it. It's not an Image property. It's whoever did it.
yeah,
They made a decision. Now they may have offered it to them, but
I would love to see the verbiage of that because I didn't see where they said they can use their own version of it, change the version, black and white, do a foil if you didn't do a foil. Like,
I would love to know
that's
what
crazy pants.
what constitutes or what counts as price gouging in their minds. You know what I mean? Like, what is price gouging to them?
Apparently, anything over 5 times the price.
5 times.
I guess. But what about you guys? Do you think that 5 times the price is price gouging?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Even if it's a super hot book.
Even if
What's that? Once it goes to the secondary
Well-
market, you want to wait a week? Sell for whatever
So-
you want. But it's
so that-
still
There's always a
gouging.
gamble on these covers, right? What if it doesn't do well? You know,
Let's go back to
you
that
might
first-
pay a
business.
price for-
That's
it's the gamble we take. But again, that's part of my problem with this is we're taking all the risk and you're telling me how I can and can't sell my books.
Exactly.
Let's go back to that original Quintana cover, that Heavy Mental, the one they did right, the one that
The
was
16.
shared with
Hell
16.
Destroyer. Yeah.
Yeah, the cover of the year,
Mhm.
cover of the decade candidate. That cover is awesome.
Yep.
They only did 1,000 trade of that.
Yeah.
Like there was no virgin. They could have done 3,000 trades. So again, what I would have done was, even though I know that image is something unique, special, once in a 5-year type image, right? I would have done 3,000. I would have sold them for $20 each, buy 2 get 1 free. I would have been adding the numbers I could make. If I sell out of all 3,000 of those, you're going to make a fortune at $20 each on those. And people are going to be happy. You're going to have the books in their hand.
yeah.
I would have done 1,000 foil, 1,000 virgin, 1,000 color hold. I would have done 5 or 6 variants of this thing. I would have held on to one for like San Diego. I would have held on to one for New York because I'm going to make all my money from the trade dress.
Much
So-
smarter play.
Yeah, way smarter play. Now that because you know people are going to want that cover, and I would have told everybody, here's all the versions. That way you're not pissed when I drop the other one later, right? Communication is important to your audience and to your fans. So 5 times
This is a great comment.
Transparency.
This is a great comment from Music Pub. He says, price gouging is a term that is used for emergency situations for essential items. During COVID, you couldn't charge more for water. Now you can argue if comic variants are essential. And that's a great point. Like, you know, if you want to use that term, like we're getting kind of crazy here on these terms.
Well,
but
they're not essential at all. Yeah.
He's
right. Pub is right. But we've stolen that term and redefined it for our purposes, basically.
Yeah.
5 times
purposes.
5 times is gouging. There's no reason why, like I said, even Mark Brooks' store exclusive he did, they could have printed all 3,000 of that trade dress and they could have done them for $15 each. Do the math. You're still going to make $45K on that book. You're going to make a fortune.
It's a 200% profit at 5 times.
So let's talk about enforcement, right? Because we all know that enforcement is the main question in this thing. How are they going to enforce this? There's all kinds of ways to get around it. Secondary market, like if you trade it with a retailer, like are retailers going to start going, hey, this is my exclusive, but I'll trade it to you so you can sell it at exorbitant prices and then split the money with me, or you know, that type of shit. Or when you have a hot book, you trade it with me and we're good. Like there are so many ways that are going to be to get around this. What are your thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts on that? How retailers are gonna play around this type of thing? Because first of all, are they even gonna play around trying to get around it until we see somebody get, you know, tagged on the wrist, or do people even, or you know what I mean? Like, are people even gonna care until somebody gets hit?
Yeah, I think there's an example and someone is hit with a penalty or unable to make a cover for a while. But I mean, to be honest, all this started with all that happening with Brooks, and now it's like is he gonna be at San Diego Con? I would like to, if I was
he's not doing cons anymore.
Oh man,
that was his thing. No more cons.
Brooks or Mayhew? Mayhew said he was doing that, but I don't know about Brooks.
Yeah.
And if it's just, he would have to be the first one. I mean,
listen, I'm going to reach out to him. I said I was going to do this last week. I haven't had a chance to do it, but I'm going to reach out to Mark and see if he would come on the show, because I would love. Again, you know, this is the and like you said, Sean, sometimes you're in a weird space as a retailer. Like, you know, you're friends with these guys, but this is also your business. Well, I'm kind of like a little bit out of that weird space where being a podcaster, I can, you know, kind of take a little bit different ways of looking at this stuff. And I would love to have Mark come on this show and talk to us and get, you know, down and dirty about, like, what are the reasons? What are you going to do? Are you going to drop your prices? Do you feel like DC should do this? Like, I want to know from Mark a lot of this stuff. I would love to hear from his mouth what he thinks, you know, on this end. And, you know, we did see him. Here he is all buddy with, you know, the guys at the Snyder event. Like, Mark, are you going to give away your books for free? Are you going to give away your comps for free? Like, you know, that's, you know, giving back to the fans type deal. Anyways, I just,
was he signing or remarking any books at the Snyder event?
I think so. He was definitely signing books. I don't know if he was remarking books. You know,
I didn't watch the show.
He's gonna be at San Diego Con.
But I heard people were messaging me because apparently he did a sketch cover and it didn't go for as high as he wanted, and he was just like, blah, thanks. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh really? Like, so people were all pissed about that. But you know, $3,000 for a sketch cover, that's pretty good. Like, it's not $18,800, but $3,000 is nothing to just be like, you know, which I think people will get mad about. But that's another thing about the transparency that Mark isn't talking about. Comic sketch art, you sell a sketch cover for $3,000, they're taking a huge cut. Original art, they're splitting that. He's not talking about that in his post when he's telling artists to go and charge, you know, X amount of dollars on top of whatever you're getting paid.
Well, here's another
good
question.
That are buying these things just make me crazy, because if you paid $3,000 for a sketch on a book, you could have bought a published original, a really good published original art 17 by 10 from multiple artists of decent books. I mean, I don't know if you can get an ASM or a Batman page for $3,000 anymore. Probably by certain artists you could. That's crazy to pay for that, some live sketched art.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
But you always got to think of the other person, right? There's got to be people in the chat that might think that you're crazy for paying that for a page, right? There's totally different kinds of collectors. There's people that collect Hello Kitty Island Adventure. You know what I mean? Just because we don't,
well, also
mean we should.
We can also look at the people that are spending that money. Like, is that money? Like that could be nothing for them. That could be a Sunday morning, that $18,000. That they're making on a Sunday morning without lifting anything but the newspaper type deal. So I don't care what people spend their money on. I'm also a market guy where I'm also always like, let the market dictate, but there's nothing that's black and white. And I'll continue to say that there's nuance in everything. I just find it very interesting that, DC is making these quote unquote laws, and how are they going to be enforced? What if a retailer sells on eBay, whatnot, live auctions, IG, like, how are they going to watch these sales? If you're not selling them on your website as a retailer and you sell them on eBay or whatnot, is somebody at DC watching those sales?
No, but they don't have to, because as soon as that sale finishes, somebody is on Instagram tagging DC with that sale. I can bet you $1,000.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of jealous people. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to be reporting reporting this person, that person. Even if they're not, they're going to be getting reported. And then it's going to turn into even more of a headache for DC. And then you're going to have the headache at DC. Well, you tell this person they can't do it, but this person was selling theirs for $300 a piece. You know what I mean? So then they got to say, oh, well, he's lined up for the next 10 books, like already paid. Like, what do I do? And then that's when it's going to start getting crazy. When they're enforcing it for some and not for others.
DC's not a small company. They can refund them that and tell them to go fuck in the ocean.
I don't think they will.
Well, what if you get around it by bundling it with another book, right? You throw on 2 books. The other book might be a 50-cent fodder book, but you're selling 2 books now for $50, right? I mean, there's ways to get around this.
You start them in
there's a lot of ways,
at $30. You know what I mean?
They put May
you don't
in there.
dictate the price.
They put a lot of language in there to give people room. But
here's the thing: they have to
take advantage of it. Scumbags.
Well, they have to write directly what they want to enforce. So if like my big thing was, people are just going to run these in auctions, right? You need to have it in writing. You can't start these in auctions at 30 either. These have to be a $30 drop. You know what I mean? You have to be precise with your wording. And I think they're keeping it gray for a reason. I think they don't want to put out a full statement of 100% down to the penny of what we can do. Because believe it or not, like everybody thinks Absolute Batman is going to stay top forever. There could be some sort of conspiracy down the line that knocks the book down. Okay. And then you go from making all this money with all these retailers to nobody doing your stuff, and they're jumping on the next top thing.
That hasn't stopped people from grading books.
Well, yeah. Is this going to stop?
Grading is an integral part of the industry.
Let's ask what the real problem is here, though. What's the real problem here? Is it price gouging? Is it artists complaining that they're not getting the biggest piece of the pie, or creators complaining they're not getting the biggest piece of the pie? Is it that there's too many exclusives? Is there too many variants? Like, what is the problem here that is causing this? Because, up front, it feels like, it's the price gouging. But is it really? You know what I mean? Like,
well, Mark says the artists aren't getting their due. He does the fucking cover of a book that's printed in an A cover with a sequential artist that's doing all the work that has pushed that book so that he can make money on that fucking book. And is he cutting him a check? Fuck no. Mark Brooks is a hypocrite jerk off as far as I'm concerned. The whole system, everybody thinks that they're the main link in the fucking chain. It's an ecosystem. Either we all feed or we all starve. And what people fucking it up need to be pointed out and pushed out.
Good point.
Well, here's the big thing that Mark Brooks fucked up on, and why I think he took down his post, right? When you do a book with Marvel or DC, you're not allowed to talk to the retailer. You're not allowed to give extra money. Marvel or DC is supposed to pay them directly. You're not supposed to have any contact. So him going and saying, like, I want more than what they're giving me on top of it, because there's an unwritten thing between artists and retailers. We know we're not allowed to talk to the artists, but hey, if you want to work with a certain artist, you better kick them back their $1,500 first before they even say yeah to DC.
Well, let's talk about that, because they made a big point to state that in these new rules that you are not allowed to talk to the artist between the artist and the retailer. What if the artist is the retailer?
Exactly. They can't talk to themselves.
That's always been, again, that's always been a rule. But then again, like, it's one of those rules that, unless the reason that rule's in place is because obviously they don't want the retailer trying to tell the artist, I want this on the cover. And then the artist turns something in that they would not approve in a million years. Right. I want something crazy, Harley Quinn with a see-through shirt on and piercings or something. They're like, that would never happen. And the artist is like, but the retailer said they wanted it. So to squish that, they have that rule in place where they're not allowed to talk to them. Now, it makes it almost even worse because you're already taking a gamble with $20K at least. Now you have to just contact DC or Marvel and say, I request these 4 or 5 artists. They're going to pick one off of your list and say, you got this guy. What's your concept? You can give them a concept. If you're lucky, they'll give you a sketch you can approve. And then if you're lucky, there's been many times where I've just gotten the final art. Here's your cover. And I'm going, this is terrible. Like, what? I'm supposed to sell this? This is nuts. So everyone tries to talk to the artist on the down low to try to work out good little details.
According to Luis says, Brian, you need to play the intro after that epic rant by Emmett. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into Unfiltered.
Yo, let's do this.
Valuable commodity I know of this information. Wouldn't you agree?
All right, we are back. We are now in Unfiltered territory, ladies and gentlemen.
This is some fucking bullshit.
Oh my god!
Did you see Kirkman talking about Marvel characters and DC characters? Him going through
no,
he did this whole thing about Marvel characters coming out in the 60s became more people were more connected to them because DC characters were built on fantasy type powers, and Marvel characters were most based scientific and stuff like that. The only thing I want to disagree with him on is that DC characters were based on morality. And that has gone away in the world. So since there's very little morality, they're very hard to connect to. Everybody says, oh, Superman's such a Boy Scout. Yeah, because that's should be a real hero. But it's not as interesting. It's a little boring because they don't have problems and, things that they're conflicted about. And, they're not supposed to be humans. They're characters. And the problem is that everybody wants the biggest piece of the pie. And it's just not everybody can have the biggest piece.
Well, let's talk about that, the piece of the pie. What is a is there going to be like a norm on retailer exclusives now, depending on the publisher, the cost to do business type deal? Is there going to be a norm that people say, okay, this is the price that you can charge for a retailer exclusive going forward? Like, are other publishers going to get involved? Is Marvel going to come out and say, hey, we agree with this? Is Dynamite going to come out and say, hey, we agree with this? Image going to come out and
no.
What is
because nobody wants to do their books.
Well, the only person that could, so here's how other dealers try to do this. And Image, if they have a hot book, they'll raise the minimum quantity to 1,000 or 1,500. Terminal number 1, I believe, was 1,500.
Or
minimum.
they'll make you buy number 2 and number 3 at 500.
I've never I haven't had it happen in a while. They used to do that. Image say you have to, or Marvel would say you have to agree to order cover A out of this percentage, and then so many of issue number 2. But that went away pretty quick. Lately, I haven't seen anybody have that requirement where you have to buy. But that is something they did do. You're absolutely correct. But yeah, they just raise the minimum order quantity, or they'll say instead of 425, this is going to be 450 an issue. They'll raise the price slightly. I mean, look how many Invincible foil variants there were. There were a freaking bajillion of them, right?
People would still be making them.
But I would. I mean, they sold. Like Troll was saying, I took a cut of 8, 9 different variants from different retailers, and whatever I didn't sell on the website, we sold on Whatnot. They sold like crazy. Like,
so what's going to happen
for $80?
What happens if somebody takes a cut and then charges more than the allotted DC amount? Is DC going to hit those retailers even though it wasn't their book?
I don't think so, but I feel like this scenario we're talking about here, Brian, is going to be very few and far between. Like, remember, we're talking about the kind of people, the people that make this big kind of people that can charge $50, even $30, $35 for retailer exclusive. They're doing all this extra stuff. They're reducing the print run. Like, again, we keep saying his name. We have a drinking game. Every time we say Mark Brooks, we have to drink, right? So it's there's very few that can do that, right? A Quintana cover, because of all the hype behind Quintana. Anything Felix seems to sell out like crazy. If an artist is doing their own cover, depending on the artist, that could sell for a lot, right? So it just depends on, and there's very few people, like I said, there's 4 or 5 people that are doing this out of 40, 50 retailer variants for DC, or retailer exclusives, right? For DC, for every issue of Absolute, you're talking about 4 or 5. So for the most part, this isn't gonna, in the comments, Nas, I hate that manufactures scarcity. I'm not gonna yell at you when I'm talking about that in a minute. Somebody reminds me.
Real quick, shout out to Rye, who says with a super chat, send Hell Destroyer the link. Hell Destroyer is in the chat.
Get Sean in here.
Sean, hit me up. Sean, hit me up on IG if you want to join, and I'll send you the link.
There's room for one more Sean.
There's always room for one more Sean. The League of Seans.
Music Pub said that Image said something in the requirements of the variant for Fox Mask Killer 1. It was in their Excel forms.
About how you had to buy so much of issue 2 or something.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I didn't. 3. I'm not doing my own. I'm participating in other people's variants, so I'm not doing my own variant for Fox Mask. I could ask.
Yeah,
but there's very few people. So having the ability to take, let's say I got a super hot cover and I'm like, Troll, you sell it. It's my cover, but I'm giving it to you and you sell it, and we're going to do some kind of split. That just sounds like a nightmare to me. And eventually what would happen?
Well, you gotta, if he doesn't pay you up front, you have to make sure he pays you.
Yeah. And how does that even, like, I would have to give you all of my print run, or I have to make a weird fake store on eBay and put them on eBay. Like, that's weird too.
Well, I got one for you. How about this one? Bleeding Cool put this one up where they said, they brought up the Felix blind bag. Felix Comic Art is doing these blind bags for San Diego. You get 2 books in each blind bag. It's $100 a blind bag. That's over the amount that DC is saying. And
that is too much.
And listen, I remember when we first learned about who Felix Comic Art was, and they were doing retailer variants, there was this very interesting question that came up. For those of you guys that don't know, Felix Comic Art is another art representative, an art rep, basically like Comic Sketch Art, More Great Art. Who else? There's another big one out there that
Scott's, Kirby's,
Scott's Collectibles. Yeah. So Felix Comic Art reps Nick Dragotta, right? Nick Dragotta is doing interiors on Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
Is he gonna? Are they going to be punished for this?
They should.
They should, based on the letter of the law, like you're saying. But they'll
give them an exception because these were already done before, and they already had a part of San Diego, and the blind bags were made. So everybody that has a San Diego exclusive,
is there a possibility of getting signatures? Because then you could get $60 a book.
Oh yeah, of course.
But didn't they talk about blind bags in this new thing too? They had a mention.
Yeah,
was there any mention about blind bags in the new DC thing?
Yeah,
you can't mention Absolute Batman at all, so you can't use any which has been forever. You can't use logos on COAs or blind bags or anything like that. Or
I wonder if Felix Comics Art is using that. Let's take a look.
Not sure.
That would be very interesting.
Do they show the bag or just the books?
That statement from DC, they're not even going to be watching any cover you do. Only Absolute Batman. So if you're doing other covers, they're not going to give a shit.
Well, here's something interesting. Official Music Pub says they dropped those today. Villains covers today. Cardstock was 50 and foil was 60. Sold out in 2 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, it's just.
That DC. No, just kidding.
If other retailers had those covers, they would not sell that well. It's another part of this whole scenario. If Emmett decided to do an exclusive and he scored one of those Dragotta ones, and he got them all graded, like Emmett's having nightmares. Emmett's like, stop fucking.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Emmett's about to reach to the screen and slap my face. If he had those, they wouldn't sell. Is that good?
We just had
it's
a
so
Red
weird.
Fox
Like
moment.
some people, no matter what they put up,
I'm actually going to do an exclusive if I can get like the
what? Wait, hold on. What just happened?
The music.
Come on, Elizabeth.
If it works out, my nephew's doing a new book, so.
Oh, there you go.
And he's going to send something to get graded.
No, that's never happening. But they'll all be signed.
This is a great point from Rook PC. He says, this rule change mostly impacts the biggest retailers. Is that the case, or are smaller retailers going to be impacted on this? Because I hear more to the point that the smaller retailers are going to be impacted on this.
You know, who was a small retailer? It was Heavy Mental.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
You're right.
Didn't know who he was. He just got lucky and scored that cover. I mean, good for him. He won the comic book lottery with that cover.
Roll of the dice.
But I'm sure he's got nothing but grief since.
Well, he deserves it.
Yeah.
For how he acted.
Well, the whole thing with that, man, the thing that I was mad about that whole situation was what he did with Hell Destroyer. Hell Destroyer was supposed to be on that book. Yeah, so I even said, like, dude, that's like Rhymies. And he tried saying that, Dan Quintana said that, he didn't want anybody else on the book.
Everything's a contract.
You got it.
Fucking contract.
There's no contracts in comics, Emmett. None.
Yeah, that first book hit, and then he said, you know what? I made enough money. I'm gonna do this one on my own, bro. Because
I can guarantee you, that was Comic Sketch Art has contracts. All these art guys that are.
I would bet they don't. I would be very interested to see if Felix Comic Art has a contract with Nick Dragotta. I bet you they don't.
I promise you, they have contracts signed.
Do you think they do?
Bro, 100,000%.
These are investment guys who have come in to do this business.
Well, here's why I say this. Here's why I say this. I know of a ton of artists out there that do not have contracts with the retailers that they do exclusive variants with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just handshake deals, agreements.
Handshakes.
Comic shop guys, but these are different.
These big guys,
these aren't
they
comic
have
shop guys.
Scott's. Well, Scott's, I don't know. Scott, I can't speak for any of these guys. I would bet they all have. I don't want to speak for anybody.
I feel like
guys
more
that
like
came
it's
in
a
and are
friend
doing
deal. Like
OA
Felix
and-
is friends with Nick Dragotta over the years, and oh yeah, we're just buddies. We're gonna do this and that, and it comes out as a Felix comic variant rather than a Dragotta art variant. You know what I mean? Like, again,
it could be, but remember, bro, when you're talking six figures, there's contracts involved. All it takes is for somebody to be like, hey, I'm going to swoop in with a huge investment from somebody and start trying to snatch up all these hot artists and offer them sweetheart deals. And,
they could do it.
courting these guys. They're like, I can't, I'm signed with this guy. I'm signed with that guy. Most of them operate, from what I remember and understand, they're mostly year deals. They don't get looped in there for too long because remember, the agent has to provide for them also,
So here's the interesting thing about whether it hurts big retailers or small retailers. If the profits become capped, large retailers are going to continue doing exclusives, but smaller retailers are going to stop entirely because they can't justify the risk, right? I mean,
no, because a smaller retail, bro,
profit.
A smaller retailer,
but it's only 200% profit if you hit on the luck, right? I mean, there's a vast majority of people that do not hit on that luck.
But even at 10%, even at 1x as 50% profit, it's still profitable.
That doesn't happen though. Guys, I'm trying to tell you, vast majority of retailers doing Marvel and DC covers, the goal, and this is the most worst business model ever, the goal is to freaking break even.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
I want to make my money back, period. Once I break even, now my profits are going to come from the next 4 months of whatnot shows, or going to a convention where someone hasn't seen it, or using it as trade bait for other retailers. Hey, bro, I'll give you 50 of this for 50 of that. Oh, dude, my guys have never seen this cover. They're going to buy it up like crazy, right? Well, like crazy. I'll sell 50 of your $20 exclusive for $10 on whatnot and make a good profit on it.
Real quick, there's 170 of you watching right now. Hit that like button. Do me a favor. Do us a favor. Hit that like button. Drop a subscribe. Comment if you like the show, if you're catching this on the rewind. Go ahead, Emmett.
There's still that profit there. I mean, even if you're getting $10 per book, you're making 50% profit. That's a great margin. 50% margins are, most businesses would love fucking 50% margins.
No, you're right. But I don't want it to be like, I spent $20,000 on this exclusive. Now I'm 1xing my money. I'm making 40. That doesn't happen, bro. That doesn't. People are not making.
Not on every book, right?
Not on hardly any books.
Yeah.
Listen, Absolute Batman is so hot, and I would say 95% of these people barely broke even that did exclusives on Absolute Batman 20. Like with all them,
and they're taking percentages.
And everybody hears about these big ones that hit over 6 figures, and Mark Brooks is like, "Oh, if I hear about somebody getting this much money, like." Bro, that's not everybody. How many people are losing money?
3, 4 people.
Yeah.
That's why I've been screaming. Like, everyone thinks like the reality is that people are 2xing, 3xing their money on these exclusives, making 40, 60, 70,000. I'm happy. What I tell everybody all the time, I'm thinking about doing my first DC exclusive or Marvel. Don't do it. Start with Image, start with Dynamite, start with Vault, start with anybody. And then if you can make a profit on that, then do another one. take 25% of somebody else's print run. If you can sell out of that, then take 40%. And if you can sell out of that, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I'm telling you.
Real quick.
That's what I started on, Sean. I do the same thing.
Real quick, I want to let everybody
ahead,
know just real quick. I want to interrupt. Hey, Official Music Pub just dropped 20 gifted memberships. Make sure you guys have your settings clicked. Click the little money icon and say accept gifted memberships, and you guys will get a gifted membership. Okay, go ahead, Steven.
No, Sean, that's what we did, Sean. I do Image, did IDW. I kept it simple. I mean, I'm not big on online, so most of this here is like local. We put it on eBay and stuff. I already sold more than half of our exclusive for Transformers and movie. We did a foil. It still sells. We sell an average of like 10 a day. I mean,
It's great, bro.
I mean,
And you didn't price it for 10x, did you?
no, I did not. I did them at $9.99, and I sold.
That's great.
More
So
than half of
foil,
it.
that's awesome, bro. I'll take 40 of them.
Yeah, we just kept it simple,
For
you
real.
know, nothing crazy. But like you said, when you get into that level where you're gonna do like DC Marvel, you just gotta make sure, like, all right, I'm jumping in, you know, over the cliff. We're gonna take this chance. And
Well, do you think them
screw it.
doing this is helping that situation? Like, and what I mean by that is there are a lot of retailers out there that are in that same situation that Steven is talking about, where, hey, they're being smart with their money and being smart with their business, and they don't want to, you know, put themselves out there and maybe not have a sellout or not be able to sell these books. Is this DC saying, hey, we want to foster that growth, or is it them saying, like, no, we only want to work with the people who are willing to take the chance?
I think it's just, hey, think about what you're doing, right? Like, understand your business, understand your customers. Do you have the capability of selling that many copies?
Yeah. Don't bet your business on it.
There you go.
And so many people do. I've talked.
I know.
Dude, so many.
They have a bond. They bite off more than they can. This is the pattern, right? They bite off more than they can chew. They can't sell their book. Credit cards, working capital loans, another credit card. Okay, I got to pay this. I paid this invoice. Okay, the next one I do is going to pay for it. Oh, now they're buried even more. So by the time they get 3 in, now they're going under. And
so is this DC looking out for those people? Because I feel like. No. I agree. I don't think it is, but I feel like if DC came out and said, "Hey, we're trying to figure out ways to look out for these people that are causing these problems," you know, here's a great question for Troll and Sean. When's the last time you guys turned down a retailer exclusive variant? Whether that's jumping in on another with somebody else, like something that's already been, you know, that you're jumping in with a group, or, you know, they've come to you and said, "Hey, we want you to do this variant." How often do you guys turn down those type of things?
I just turned down one. So little backstory back. I'll tell you, because I tell everything. Some people can't deal with that. I don't care, man. I'm one of those people that people come to me because they're too afraid to say anything. You know what I mean? So I'm always spilling the tea, and some people can deal with it, some people can't. So back in the old school whatnot days, there was, you know, the different groups like Comic Tom and them had, you know, Wednesdays on lock. Well, I was part of Nearman All-Stars. So on Thursday, we would run back to back. It would be me, then, you know, Morpheus, which that's a whole other story with him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we'll have to get into that one day. And a bunch of other people. And anytime there's a group, man, there's at least 1 or 2 people that screw it for everybody. Countdown Comics, he was mellow for Prez. He was with us too. Love that dude, by the way. Amazing dude.
Good dude.
Taylor is awesome. So he was part of it with me too. And a whole bunch of fuckery went on.
Back.
So yeah. So I'm good friends with Night of Comics. Night of Comics was like, "Hey, we're putting a group together. We're gonna do a whole bunch of Absolute Batman stuff." And I was like, let me think on it a little bit, because I really don't want to with groups. And then I heard about a couple things happening already, and I was like, nah, see, I just can't do the group thing, man. Like, as much as I believe in you and what you're doing, I just can't do the group thing. Like, I need to either take all the same thing. I need to take all the risk for all the reward. I can't have someone else to blame for something that they did stupid. You know what I mean?
In control.
I turned down exclusives. Like what Kevin Grothorpe said in the chat. IDW with their ridiculous TMNT minimums. I've had people offer me exclusives. Usually you're offered an exclusive more time than not after they can't sell it. And then someone's like, "Hey, do you want some of this?" And I'm like, when did you launch it? Oh, you launched it last week? Yeah, no, bro, I'm good. This bomb for you. Now you're trying to dump it on somebody else. Or I'll give him some kind of deal like, yeah, I'll buy him for half your cost. You'd be surprised when people are like, okay, Like I just need to recover my money to pay this invoice. So I have said no to that. I've said no to all kinds of different things. I don't mind the groups. Kind of a whole different topic. Joel, we could talk about this for probably an hour.
Oh my
But
God.
I don't mind the groups I'm in. I love actually sharing covers with other people because it mitigates. I've learned that I have my market, they have their market. It's pretty separate at this point. There's very little crossover. People that buy from Big Time Collectibles or 616 or KRS, they have their own little niche carved out. They're not coming to Comics Elite. There's a little bit of crossover, of course, from the hardcore guys, but it's really not as much as anyone thinks. So I love sharing exclusives. I don't think this is, back to the original question though, I don't think this is DC looking out for, I think they're trying to look out. It feels like, Emmett, talk about what we were talking about before about the spirit of the letter. So let me preface it by this. When he says that, by the way, bro, that's a military thing that hit me later on, like an hour after we talked. It's like the spirit of the they'll put out letters and orders, everything's in order. Some things are letters of instructions or guidance or something like that. And they always say, what's the spirit of this? So instead of trying to find a way to work around it, to get around it, find a way to participate. Yeah. They're trying to help somehow. It feels like the spirit of this is trying to protect more the dudes buying the covers, the customers, than it is anybody else. They're not like worried about somebody making too much money or a retailer made too much. Like they want us to make money because we're going to do another exclusive if we do, and they're going to make their 10, 15K, whatever they are on that exclusive. They just don't want the price gouging, was still that term again, right? Yeah. They don't want people paying clearly more than $35 or whatever for a trade dress. So I would love to know how this came about. Somewhere somebody got together and said,
that was going to be my next question, Sean, is who does this help? Who does this help? Out of everybody, who does this help? And I think you kind of answered it. I don't even think it helps the ecosystem, because if it was for the ecosystem, I don't think they would limit people to what they could sell their books for. If it was the ecosystem, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I could be wrong.
Well, I don't know. I think I might
see what happened. This is exactly. It's a little different, but it's the same. In the 90s, when they were selling cases of number ones, and they were selling millions of copies when there was 100,000 or maybe 200,000 comic readers, when the bubble came and it burst, it was everybody's fault. It was the people who were, it was the comic companies for overprinting because it wasn't print to order. It was the comic shops for over ordering. It was the comic shops for not buying back shit. People, when they were like, hey, I want to sell my Spawn 1 for $30 a book. And they're like, I got 4 cases in the back. I wouldn't give you a nickel. It's an ecosystem. If you fucking break it, it breaks.
Yeah.
How many species have gone out of fucking into extinction because we move the beavers out? We don't want the beavers there. Then the river dries up. And everything that ate and drank out of there dies. This is fucking how it happens.
Here's the thing. I think you're wrong with that, because these books, once they hit the secondary market, are still going to sell for that price or more. All it's doing is changing who gets the money at the end of the day.
But it sells.
I understand that.
Yeah.
They should.
But nobody had a problem with it when Bad Idea did it.
Okay, so here's the question then. And Troll, I'm going to take your point for this. Yeah. And here's the question to ask the people. So if the secondary market makes money off it and not the retailers, are you guys going to be okay with that?
Yes.
As long as they buy it from me.
I want to see what they say.
Well, they're not going to buy from you. The profit isn't going to be coming.
No, they'll get it from you for 30.
They'll get it for you for a 30-cent profit, and then they'll sell it for a $30 profit.
As long as I sell out.
Right. I know what margins I need to make to run my business. All these guys who are running by the seat of their pants, they're not good business people. If they need to make this $100,000 to run their business, and then they're gambling one after another, they're not good business people. Even if they've had a success. I mean, look how successful.
So this is a great
the guy
comment
who
from
had the
Marcus.
crane books.
He says retailers should sell at retail. Do you guys feel that way, that all retailers should sell at MSRP and not anything above?
I do for all
on an
weekly
exclusive. It'll be very hard.
That's
Now,
very
here's the
different because
thing.
you're paying retail.
Here's the thing, right? You have a book that hits, 2 weeks later or a week later. Okay. Everybody always says it's fair game to, sell that book for more, right, Emma? Like, say if you got a hot book, like that first week you sell it at retail, right? And after that, it's whatever, if it's going for $50, you could sell it at $50, right? Now, how do we time the retailer exclusives? Do we give it a week? We have to sell. Do you have to put up?
Well, that's what Bad Idea did. 30 days. Bad Idea was 30 days. Nobody was making this. Bad Idea. This was their thing when they came out. 200 stores. You had to sell it at retail. You could not put it on the internet for 30 days.
But this is what
nobody said boo.
Yeah, but it's also different.
You're
talking about
not
something.
a gray area. They got to write it in stone.
Real quick, KRS just dropped a super chat saying, there is no secondary market if retailers don't leave meat on the bone. Great comment.
I was gonna say that, Chris. That's a perfect point. That's why I say $20 is perfect for to sell your trade dress for. Or
15,
40
20 trade dress, 30, 35 virgin, and then foils are a little bit more. That's
20,
how
30,
it's always
40,
been. And
I
now
feel like
it's
it's
like
perfect.
these hyper high, like we're doing this, certain artists at $300 drop, or we're doing this at, that's what's getting crazy.
Yeah, the other thing is that if you don't want a secondary market rush like that, where people are like, oh, that's a hot cover, he can only sell it at 30, and they come in and buy 50% of everything you have up. If you just do one per customer, and everybody's like, oh no, one per customer. Yeah, one per customer. Then everybody, all the fans of it will get a shot at it instead of all the flippers rushing in and going, he sold it too low and buying it and reselling it. Then you won't have a problem with resales.
Shout out to Gilbert, who just dropped another super chat saying, KRS is the best in the industry. They sell at a reasonable price and they are honest guys. And you can use promo code Beyond10 to get 10% off over at KRS Comics and over at Comics Elite and over at setoshabina.com and over at Hive Comics, and use the promo code Wednesday over at Dynamic Forces. Go
Brian,
ahead.
you fucking chill.
I know, right?
You're supposed to start with
So I kind of want to go back to a couple of things Emmett said, if we can. So Emmett mentioned the ecosystem, which I agree, and KRS says kind of the same thing here, that there's got to be meat on the bone. So if I try to, we talked about the problem. There's another part of it. When retailers are trying to sell a book at at secondary market prices, it happens all the time. Yeah. All the time. You got to price it reasonable enough to where people can get that book and then put it on eBay or wherever and go on Whatnot and make a little bit of money on that book, because they're going to come back and buy your next cover. It is part of the ecosystem. I don't mind if somebody buys my book and sells it for triple the price. I will high five that dude all day long. I am so happy for him. I want to take a screenshot of that sold listing on eBay and be super happy that he sold my book and made that much money. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love it.
Yeah, because your next one, everybody's going to feel that you're a winner. If everybody feels that you're a winner, your business model is a winner. They want to participate in that. Why do the Yankees have more fans than the Mets? Because they win all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Rye just dropped a super chat. He says, I wish I could give KRS Comics more than one thumbs up on that comment. I appreciate you.
I like what Kevin said too. So Trinity, Matt, he's been doing this, I mean, as long as me and Kevin have. Mm-hmm. I've known Matt forever.
Good dude.
And he gets it. Me and Matt talk about it all the time, and we hate these dudes that Troll, you said people send you stuff to say stuff. It's funny because Matt will send me stuff all the time. Bro, did you see this? I'm like, I did it. I'm like, but I do now, and I'll make a video about it.
Yeah, Matt's awesome.
Matt. Good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He understands that you make your money slowly and persistently over time, not all at one time off of one drop, like Mark Brooks tried to do. I'm drinking water, by the way.
And then if you want to make a little more money when you have money in the bank, put it in a short time CD and make 4% over 6 months.
Do you think that scalpers will become more prevalent because of this? Because this was a great comment on the on the Reddit post. This guy made a comment. He said, "This is objectively bad. Comic shops charge what people are willing to pay. If DC forces them to charge significantly less for variants, scalpers will buy them all up. We won't actually end up paying less. Variant covers aren't expensive because comic shop owners are greedy. They're expensive because the number of that DC prints is lower than the number of people who want them. They are intentionally creating scarcity to increase the perceived value to their comics, then acting like it's someone else's fault when the shit gets expensive. If DC wants to lower the price of variants, they can easily do so by printing more copies."
Oh my God, who wants to take this one?
I just want to say they could have added that there's no lowering the number. If you bought 3,000, it's 3,000. It's no, we destroyed 1,500 of them, or we destroyed. Nobody wants to do that, but that is manufactured scarcity.
Okay, so all right, a couple things. We got to talk about the manufactured scarcity. What that dude said, if you pull that back up, Brian, real quick, my first thing is, bro, what are you talking about? DC doesn't make enough covers. They print whatever is ordered through FOC on weekly books, so they're not allocating books. They're not printing short amounts. That's weird. And when you're talking about retail exclusives, we can print as many as we want to. 3,000 is the minimum. I could order 10,000 of a cover.
Really? I didn't know that. I did not know that.
That's just the minimum.
Whatever you're willing to pay for.
Bro,
yeah, MOQ is just a minimum order.
That's
quantity.
crazy. I want to get into that because that's nuts. That is not. That has never crossed my mind that you can, if I wanted to, I could get 10,000 variants as long as I pay for it. That is nuts to me.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck moving 10,000 books.
Well, what if you're like the Lakers and you want to make a variant for every person that goes to the Kobe final game? You know what I mean? You're going to easily move 10,000. Cool. Yeah, right. So
it's but that's a weird, like, it's by the third sentence, this whole comment lost all validity. It made no sense. So there's a couple sayings. The smart money never prints more than the minimum. Right, you print the minimum, you don't go bigger than that. 3,000, well, technically 1,000 is the minimum for DC, but it's a little higher cost than if you do the 3,000. If you do 3,000, it's a little bit lower cost. If you do 1,000, it's a little bit higher, but not as much as if
it's a little lower per, right?
It costs a little less, per book.
But it ends up being more money because it's 3,000 books.
Yeah, a little bit more money because you're getting 3,000, but anyway,
but your profit margin is better per book.
Yeah, so the manufacturer scarcity, it's just scarcity. Like if I want to be an idiot and buy a 1,000 print run and destroy all the copies and make a one print run book, some idiot was doing that for a while. There's only one copy of this variant. Okay, that's up to me. I'm never gonna make my money back. But is that manufactured scarcity? Is artificial scarcity? So what you're saying is or not just you, but everybody that says that, the dude in the chat was saying it earlier. Like, so what you're saying is what about if I get a 500 print run and a box, and this happens all the time. One of my boxes takes a huge hit, and 100 of them are damaged.
Well, you didn't manufacture that.
But
the guy who's destroying them and going, I'm being transparent because I'm setting them on fire or I'm running through a shredder or anything like that's manufacturing the scarcity. It's like when Cabbage Patch Dolls, they only put them on the West Coast and they only put out 200, and then it went bananas, and then they put them out everywhere. I mean, it's a marketing. It's for marketing. It's not. It's a marketing thing. That's all it is.
But everybody says it like it's a scammy, negative, shitty thing to do, griftery thing to do to manufacture scarcity. When in reality, if I want to, maybe I do want to destroy, and I just did that for 2 covers. I had a Carla Cohen foil. I did a 3rd foil. I limited it to 800. I'm sorry, 600. So we destroyed 400 copies of that foil to make it limited to 600. We got 300 of them signed by Scott Snyder. They're only available signed. We'll get the other 300 signed later if the market wants them. I'm not going to get all 600 signed if I can't sell them all. That's stupid.
Right.
So, and again, what's the difference between, well, this box took a hit, right? So now half of these are damaged. Am I supposed to go back and beg for a print run, a reprint,
No.
and then now my orders are backed up by 2
That's
months?
what the word manufactured means.
Okay, but
there's an accident, and then there's manufactured.
Well, okay. Oops, another case dropped. Oops, another case dropped. Hey guys, these all took
Okay, but
hits. They're all
that's not
damaged.
integrity.
I have no choice but to sell these books. But again, people say it like it's some scammy BS thing to do. Like again, like I always say.
Well, we'll see in 20 years.
But
right? It's only time that tells on
the way
stuff.
I feel on this is
That's
about
true.
the wording of it. Okay, a print count is how many are printed. Period.
Yes.
Now, if you say there's only 500 available, that's a totally different story. You're not saying that it's the print count, which a lot of these guys get it mixed up, and they're like, "There's only 200 printed." No, there was 500 printed, and you either destroyed the other 3, or
Well, those
it's
guys,
the wording.
Those guys usually get called out, and like we put on all of our COAs, there were 1,000 printed, 200 were destroyed. It's limited to 800. Here's an individually numbered.
Good
COA.
on you. You should
I mean,
always state what the
transparency is
print
king.
count was and how you made it less. Okay.
Right.
If you're going to destroy copies, I want that on the COA. Okay. Like you said, transparency is the key. And we all know that people love collectibles. When it comes to collectibles, they love it when they're scarce. For whatever reason, it's like gold, right? They love the
It's a
shinies
collectible-
because they're
it's the-
scarce.
It's the collectible side of the market.
But what do we
yes.
think of the dynamic forces stuff from QVC? Nobody fucking wants it or can sell it because they're
Bullshit.
Back then there was a lot
I sell the shit out of old school dynamic
Dude, now
forces
everybody
stuff.
wants that.
for
Yeah.
big money. For
Big
big
money.
money.
Well,
Oh
what do you
yeah.
consider big money?
Yeah. What do you consider?
I have like 6 different ones, and
If you-
none of them get any have gotten
Emmett,
sold for me.
if you
Because
if
you have
put-
you say it yourself. I'm sorry, Brian, real quick. You say it yourself, Emmett. You have a reader. You foster your readers, not collectors.
No, I'm
That's a
selling
collector
those
item.
online. I'm selling those online. All
you'd
that
be
stuff
able to
goes
sell
online
those
'cause
on
I
your
don't have
eBay
eBay.
Lives very easy. I
Oh,
sell the
yeah.
shit out of dynamic forces variants because one, I love them and it's how I talk about them. I explain to
But
people like
how much do you get for the 1 in 10,000
20
Superman
$20 to
sign?
$50 a book.
That's
Depends
not-
who signs it.
That's a
not
great
money.
amount. What are you talking about? Like, are you? I didn't pay those for them. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I
Some
get 20,
books-
20, 30
gotta get-
bucks,
yeah.
depending what it is. If it's
Yeah.
still sealed with the fancy little silver sticker and the
Oh,
colors
yeah,
in
yeah.
there, and
Depends on the autograph. It depends on how,
But what's
how
that to what
limited
we're
it is.
selling for variants now?
Well, that's there's
right?
also
the signed variants are getting $60 brand
it's
new out of the
apples and
box.
oranges.
because these are hot on the secondary market. A signed Sabretooth #1 signed by the writer isn't hot on the secondary market now. But I tell you what, if you show people it has that dynamic forces COA and that hologram on the back, you're going to get a decent amount of money for it.
and if anything, the chances of these books nowadays that are manufactured scarcity being worth more in 20 years, if a dynamic forces book that had 10 freaking thousand or 14,000, whatever that number is, I still blows my mind that those were individually hand numbered on the covers.
Oh yeah.
Somebody had to do that shit, right?
Yep.
If those are still going for 20, 25 bucks and there's 10 freaking thousand of them, how much is a book going to sell for if there's 500, 700? We're talking about Absolute Batman now, right? So there's
And a
750.
20-year-old limited to 10,000 variant there's not 10,000 available out there right now. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
They're still offering dynamic forces on Lunar.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Dynamic
those
Forces
those
is
prices,
still going.
And you can get
Yeah.
10% off by using the promo code
Unfortunately,
BEYOND10 on dynamicforces.com.
Those prices, though,
Yeah.
for a cover A signed by the
Hey, get
cover
that
artist,
as
I'm like,
long as if Dynamic Forces and Dynamites fix their website everything would change. Just fix the website, Nikki. So,
well, I agree with Kevin. Nobody's ordering 3,000 and destroying 2,500. They're probably ordering 1,000.
There's people
Mark
that have
Brooks
done
just did.
that, but it's not on the regular. Not on the regular.
No, that's
I know.
stupid.
I know for sure that Davis and Tom have showed them destroying quite a bit of DC or Marvel variants to keep it a print run low. But there's, like you said, there's not very many retailers that are on their level to kind of do that.
Right.
You know.
Again, it is just marketing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I when I used to do sales training, I'm like, look, you have a product, a comic book, right? What else can I do with this comic here? I don't know, Scott's still in the chat. I'll show his Nephi Wars. Let's say this is a comic book, right? It used to be a comic. If I have this, what can I do to this comic to make it more valuable? I could get it, put it in a Mylar. I could put it in a top loader. I could get it signed. I could give it a Koa. I can have the artist draw on it. I can get it graded. I mean, your favorite thing, right? I get it graded. There's so much you can do to try to increase the value of that book.
Right.
So it's marketing. Look, guys, it comes in a Mylar and a top loader and it's signed. And
It's a great story. It's got this chip on the back.
One time.
Yeah.
I do marketing too, but my marketing is these are great fucking stories.
It's a great story, yeah.
And you should read them and love them and read them again in dog-eared pages.
Well, I'll tell you what, Emmett, if you did more eBay sales where you showed that love behind what you're selling, like where you say, hey, this is Micronauts 34, and in this issue, Baron Karza did this crazy fucking thing which changed my life, and da-da-da-da, you would sell that book.
Sure. Yeah. No, I know. I mean, it is a really good marketing thing. The thing is that more people, especially flippers, should be fucking loving me. Because one, I sell raw books, so you can buy them and grade them and make your 3X to 5X. Two, I encourage people to read their books as much as possible. So that's taking books out of the market. They're not going to be in pristine condition. So in the future, when books are getting less and less, there's fires, hurricanes, floods, all these things that collections disappear. So like the scarcity happens anyway.
I can't destroy comics, man. I think the comic book gods would get mad at me so bad.
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing, Steven. I don't blame you for it. I do not blame you for it.
I freak when my wife grabs a book the wrong way.
The first time
I'm like, you can't hold it like that. What are you doing?
The first time I had to rip a cover off a comic is when we got a whole damaged print run in of a Fantastic Four exclusive we did, and Marvel needed to mail back all the covers. So I had to literally rip off 4,000 covers and put them in a box and mail them back to them. And I was like, who the fuck is counting these? Nobody's counting these things. And then they stopped asking. Then we got another print run damaged a few months later. Marvel was the worst with damages for a while. And then they just said, show us proof of destruction. So we just ripped them all in half. It was the craziest shit. You're ripping 4,000 comics in half. And it's like, oh my God, it's crazy.
Well,
Sean was just showing real quick. Sean was showing Nephi Wars. They just sold out of their blind bags.
Yes, they did.
Dropped them 2 weeks ago.
I heard.
Complete sellout. They have a couple left for their live shows, but they're like, I think we can only do like 10 trickling out a show because we got so little bags left, which is amazing. Like they're crushing it, man.
No, we just ordered another 200 this weekend, luckily, because they sold out right after that. We got them in. We've been selling them on Whatnot. I'm saving a couple, sitting on a few, but they sold good for us. We got an exclusive coming for them for the Nephi Wars. Watch out, Troll. Miss Troll Hunter's in the chat. She's going to be hunting you. Watch out.
I want to talk about a few other things real quick. I want to ask, for retailers, does this help honest retailers or does this hurt honest retailers?
I don't think it hurts us at all.
No.
Yeah, not honest retailers will never be hurt by anything the comic industry does.
Most of these retailers are only selling them for $20, $30. You know what I mean? They can't, if they put them up for $100, nobody would buy it.
Wow.
The bottom line.
Sometimes they don't buy them at $20.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, "Yo, troll, you want some of these books?"
Yeah, that's why I set them at a good price and where nobody can see it, or put them at such a good price where you sell 4 or 5 copies instead of just one.
Leave
right?
like Kara said, leave meat on the bone for the flippers, right?
Yeah, man. And a lot of people got them autographed. They got sketches, whatever on them, and it worked out great. So it's still working out great, actually.
Yeah, Sean, you were talking about how, like, you know, people drop a book and then it'll dud, and then they'll be like, "Hey, Sean, do you want some of these books?" You know. Well, I had the opposite reaction happen with the Nephi Wars guys. So I was setting up retailers saying, "Do you want to do a retailer exclusive for Nephi Wars?" And people were like, "I don't even know what a Nephi Wars is." And I would try to explain to them, like, it's a really cool story, man. Like, just read it and then, you know, tell me if you want it, yes or no. And then once they seen this explosion with the blind bags, I've got retailers like, "Hey, can I still get on a call with them? I want to do exclusive now." You know, it's the complete opposite. They're like, "Oh no, I can't miss this train," you know?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's cool shit.
You know, there's another couple interesting things that I want to ask you guys. Okay, so is $25 retailer exclusive reasonable across the board? Is there any reason to charge more than $25 for a trade dress?
For a trade dress limited to 3,000, 25 is more than enough. Because you're going to have a hard time selling 3,000 anyway. I don't care who you are. I don't care what that cover is. You're going to have a very hard time selling out of 3,000 copies. I've never done a 3,000 print run by myself to this day that I've sold out of. I still have cases in storage of some of the cover A's. And I've had some great covers. Ryan Brown, Deceased Wonder Woman, John Jiang's. Of course, I did manufacturer scarcity on those.
Final Boss.
They sold out. Yeah.
You have Final Boss left over?
Yeah, from the artist elite publishing.
Yeah,
OG Final
Boss. You're gonna do very, very well.
The
Yo,
for
shout out
real
to Tyler Kirkham, dude. They have the video game coming out now.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, the for real. So the original Final Boss #1, his first appearance in comics was when Tyler was with Artist Elite.
Yeah,
and we had that big thing together. And Artist Elite #1, it's actually Primer Red and Primer Blue, which was the preview to Artist Elite #1, where the first appearance of all these characters was, except for Sora's character because she already published it, but all these artists had their first appearance, these characters in those books. You could call them cameos because they weren't actually like paneled art. But Final Boss #1's first appearance was Artist Elite #1.
Sean has over at Comics Elite has 2 really great creative firsts over there, in my opinion. One, the Final Boss #1 stuff, or the Final Boss stuff, and then Kyle's stuff over there, which is
Seeds
fucking it's fucking amazing.
It's called Seeds of Evil. Wait till you see what he did for this cool New York envelope thing. Brian, I'll have to get him on to show you.
It's going to be a game changer. Yeah,
it's crazy what he did. Crazy.
Yeah, Seeds of Evil. There's a great Perillo variant for that you guys just announced, I believe. There's more coming down the line. So again, keep that in your head, you guys. Seeds of Evil, Final Boss over at Comics Elite. Use promo code Beyond10. Ryan just dropped a super chat saying, "I love that Wonder Woman deceased Ryan Brown." Says
it's a good one, bro.
Yeah,
it's one of my best ones.
Oh, secondary market, Sean.
Yep. Another question that I want to ask: should publishers regulate the aftermarket pricing at all?
No, I don't
Fuck no.
I think the customer should dictate the price.
They can't. #1.
Well, are they doing that right now? Are they doing that right now?
No.
Well, DC's trying.
Now they're waving a finger right now. That's all they're doing. They're saying, "Hey, I see you kids hitting each other. Okay, I might spank you. I might not."
They are. You're 100% right. They are waving their finger. Until we see somebody get spanked, none of this is going to matter. And that's the question. The next question that I have, like, is DC going to actually spank somebody? And when they do, is it going to matter if it isn't somebody like, let's just be honest, like Trinity or Mark Brooks or Comics Elite, like these big retailers out there that are big names in the retailer exclusive game. If they spank somebody, is it going to matter unless it's one of those people?
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is it going to be Mark Brook that gets spanked, or is it going to be Comic Sketch Art, or whoever he works with? I don't know.
CSA.
Who's ever? Yeah, they're working with Comic Sketch Art.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it matters. I think if anybody gets their pee smacked, it'll be big news. It'll be all over the place. People are gonna be talking about it. We're already good, guys. Like Troll said earlier, man. If somebody breaks a rule, it's gonna be all over. People will be in the chats. You can't do that. People will be videoing it, screenshotting it. The Instagrams and TikToks are gonna blow up with people breaking the rules.
Is the guy from Acetate Gate still around?
No.
Still
Black Flag? No.
Yeah.
Well, he's not, but his former wife.
His wife is. Yeah, she's rocking with Clayton Crane. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, could this reduce work for cover artists for retailer exclusive variant cover artists?
No.
Especially since you can't just have anybody on DC either. They have their own approved artists. You can't just have Tony Tone from down the street that you think does good art to go on there, like some of the publishers.
Yeah.
Well,
and really, I don't think they're going to be able to. They can't. I don't even know how they would regulate the secondary market. Like, if anything, with this policy, there's going to be, like Chris said from KRS, there's more meat on the bone for flippers now. If the max price can be 35, 50, 60, whatever that is, there's going to be way more meat on the bone. What I think here's some second and third order effects that I think would happen from this. Instead of doing 1,000 print run, cut it to 750, trying to sell it for 50 because you can't. Now they're going to sell the full 1,000 or even 1,200. They'll order 1,500 and maybe reduce it to 12. They're going to order more of the trade dresses.
Yeah, because they can't raise the price per
because they can't raise the price, but they're still
volume. It's margins or volume. Business is very simple. There's only two things. You either make margins or you make volume. Right now they're making margins. So you just switch over to volume.
Yes, sir.
And then you have more fans happy. More people were able to get it. It's still pretty freaking low number.
Well, here's another question. Does this signal publishers to take a more active role in the secondary market?
Well, they would love to.
Yeah, again, how can they?
That's where all the money is.
Like,
but a lot of them aren't allowed to.
Well, they're kind of doing it with this, right? Because they're saying that the secondary market value doesn't. Well, hold on. If a retailer does a variant for Absolute Batman and they're selling it on their live sales on eBay Live, and the auctions go above the set rate, that's a secondary market saying that that's how much they're willing to pay for it. And if they get hit for that,
the secondary market really doesn't kick in until that week is up.
I disagree. The secondary market kicks in when you're on an auction.
As soon as the retailer stops selling copies, well, not really, because
if you put it on an auction, the secondary market is taking effect.
That's true.
It may be taking effect, but it's not considered the secondary market.
What do you mean?
That's what I mean. DC is leaving too much of a gray area. They need to put set in stone. Like, you have to put 70% up at the drop price for 1 week. Okay. And then I think everybody would be fine with that. Right.
That's too much. That's too much.
It's control. Soon as I heard this, it's a lot of control.
Yes. I was pissed when I heard it. Just okay, DC, why don't you post it on my website for me and send out my marketing email?
Yeah.
Tell me what I can put in the words. How many words can be in my text, my marketing email? What size top loader or what size board and bag do I have to use for my comics, DC?
Yeah, but it is free market because it's then your choice whether to do it with them. Everybody's saying this like, oh, I have to do an Absolute Batman exclusive. Nobody has to do an Absolute Batman exclusive. Everybody don't do one for an issue and see if DC changes their mind.
Whoa.
That's a great point.
You gotta talk to people about their money now, you know.
Easy there's Father Time. That's
I
crazy
think it's
talk.
just to calm everything down. Everybody just relax.
Again,
Mark Brooks stirred the pot with everybody.
They
Talk shit to everybody.
I think
But,
they learned their lesson very good from the 90s when they went to print to order was the first move they made, and they have a golden goose and they don't want these fucks out there choking it to death.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
Well,
love choking my goose.
for years, the publisher retailer exclusive program have largely operated on trust, right? And publishers provided the opportunity, retailers assume the financial risk, and the market determined the prices. Now, these new terms signal that DC is willing to step further into the relationship by setting expectations not just for ordering, but for how exclusives are marketed, priced, and even how the commission artwork can be used later, which is very interesting to me, right? So whether these guidelines materially change price remains to be seen, but the real test will be whether DC enforces them consistently, and especially with the live auctions, marketplace rules, other gray areas. If enforcement is selective or rarely happens, the announcement may serve as more of like a public statement about protecting consumers.
Yeah.
Kevin
you know what
makes
I mean?
a great point that retailers are selling the books before they even have them in their hands.
Yeah, we all
Part
do.
of the reason books make the Stein top 10 is because people buy them on the secondary market even before they're released.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, we didn't wrap up the talk about secondary market. And honestly, the secondary market really starts as soon as one person buys the book from you and another person besides you sells it for more or less. It doesn't matter.
A non-retailer, when a non-retailer
yeah, sells it for
whatever. Even if they sell it for less, that's the secondary market.
Yes,
Is there anything that you guys want to talk about on this subject before we move on to the next one? Because I don't want to. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this more and more down the line. It's very interesting that this drops right before San Diego. It's going to be very interesting to see how people are talking about it in San Diego. And of course, that's
what people are charging for their San Diego stuff.
Great point.
And so this is part of my problem with this was, okay, we already talked about a couple of them. What if a book is 2 times signed? What if it's 3 times signed? What if it's 4 times signed? I saw a dude on eBay or on Whatnot the other day had a 5 times signed Absolute Batman book. It was going for like $400 or $500. I was like, good for you, bro. Right? So how can you regulate that? The Whatnot thing. Some people are stupid and they were paying what, 50, 60, $70 for the Quintana weekly book that came out because the dishonest sellers weren't telling them this is a weekly book. It's only worth $4 or $5 right now.
No,
you can buy it anywhere in the country.
Trinity stream. Trinity was telling them this is a weekly book, and I will refund anybody. That list that I posted, that video, that was from Trinity stream, and Trinity said, "Hey, I'm letting you guys know." And there was just people that like wanted to spend all that money just to flex. You know what I mean? So you gotta realize there's people like that too.
Yeah. Well, we told people, we said, look, we have 40 of these for our streams. We sold way more than we thought we would on the website. We're going to raise the price by $1, and we still sold out. That was our big markup was $1. So, and we told them that. So, that's another problem is, let's say I have a hot exclusive and okay, I'm going to put them up for like Idiot did. I'm going to put them up for one at a time, starting the bidding at $30. Oh, I can't help it. It went for $200 because I'm not going to tell them I literally have a case of another 999 of these sitting next to me, cases of them. So that could be a very dishonest way to sell them. I'm only dropping 10 a day and I'm starting the bidding at $30. So whatever you guys want to do, or put them up for pre-bid or whatever the things are, right? So, like Emmett was saying, the spirit of the letter, what's the intent of this? Instead of people trying to find workarounds to everything, I could this, I could do that. There's no remarks. Okay. What if an artist remarks a book? Is DC going to control how much a remark can sell for? What if it's remarked by 2 people? What if it's remarked and double signed? What if you get a Clayton Crane to sign a variant and he's charging for his ridiculous signature and I paid $100 for the signature. You're telling me now I can't sell this book for what I even paid for the signature for?
Yeah.
And it has to be 10 times the price of the book. That's stupid.
Crazy to me. Yeah, that's one of the craziest parts for me. Like what,
I think you could plead your case is that your cost to the book has gone up, so you can 10x that.
I mean, there's all kinds of ways, and now I can see artists saying like, "Hey, you paid me my signature's now $50, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So you have to start these books for at least 90 or some shit." There's all kinds of stupid, unscrupulous stuff people can do.
Absolutely, will do.
Yeah, I just don't want DC to keep going down this road. I was already pissed when I heard this because I'm like, don't fucking tell me how to run my business, right? Like I don't like that. I don't want, I don't like overreach of government or corporations, I guess, right? Don't tell me what to do. So it initially irritated me. Then once I calmed down and took a nap and drank a beer and took a shit, I got a little happier. So it's like, okay, maybe it doesn't affect me really. It has no effect on me because I don't sell my books for that stupid price anyway. None of my retail partners I work with sell them for stupid prices. We're all normal retailers and sell them for normal prices.
It'll be very interesting to see how this moves in the future. You're 100% right. There's a lot of people who this doesn't affect, but it'll be interesting to see the first person that gets hit on the wrist, the first artist that is a retailer as well that gets hit on the wrist. Like Mark Brooks is in the fucking targets right now, right? They're in the crosshairs in a major way. Mark Brooks is, and he's working with other artists and creators. Adam Kubert, was Andy Kubert or Adam
Jock.
Kubert? I can't remember, but Jock, he's working with these artists and he's telling them, hey, we can get you this much for your book. Well, now DC puts this out. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Mark Brooks is good friends with Scott Snyder, who is, we're hearing these rumors about him being, new, he should be editor-in-chief at DC. Let's just be honest. Let's just make it official and put him as editor-in-chief. But it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out in the future. This will not be the last time we talk about this. But I want to jump over to a new topic, which was very interesting, and you had a very interesting post on this, JC. This is that post with this eBay retailer, Got Comics, who had a ton of these sketch covers out of the Ultimate Endgame blind bags. And this brings up a whole new question about how this Ultimate Endgame blind bag thing rolled out. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it. What were your thoughts on this, JC?
So the first thing that it was killing me, the people in the comments that were like, oh, they're not real, that they're, somebody just sketched them. I'm like, no, look at the back cover. They're totally different covers on the official Marvel ones. The blank sketches that he has for sale have a different back cover. It doesn't have the wording that Marvel puts on the official sketch covers that you got out of there. So the people that are like, oh no, they're just, sketches this guy did and threw up. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, go in and look at this guy's post. Like, he's got 57 official blind bag. So the pull rate on these was like, you got like 3 out of every 1,000, right? So you're telling me you got 19,000 blind bags. Well, this guy, which I always say, people only reach out right away when there's some fuckery going on, right? So this guy immediately, he doesn't have social media, nothing, reaches out and he's like, yeah, man, I'm kind of embarrassed, but like, I basically ordered well over 20,000 blind bags. Okay. And like it was just so weird how fast it was too, because if you're not doing anything on the shadiness at all, you don't have to go and reach out to me at all. Like, you just do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, I got these out of the blind bags, right? And he could have, but it just, when water starts flowing fast, you got a leak. There's something there.
Yeah, this was very interesting. He responded to you, and I love that he responded to you because that gives us a little bit more information. He says, hey there, this has Got Comics on eBay. Someone mentioned that you made a post about my sketch covers, so I looked it up. I'm not on social media, so I figured I would reach out to you here. Sorry to say, there is no juicy conspiracy theory behind this. What was originally supposed to be divided among multiple retailers ultimately ended up entirely in my hands. I had to open an absurd number of blind bags over a long period of time to pull the sketches, but there was nothing unusual about the collation. I'm simply trying to recoup some of my investment by selling the sketch covers. Unfortunately, I'm also left trying to figure out what to do with the pallets of damaged common covers. So this has definitely not been a great outcome for me overall. And some of the comments were entertaining to share this. So basically he's saying that he bought a ton of the bags from Lunar or Penguin. I'm not sure. I apologize. Which one was
Penguin.
it? Penguin. So he bought a bunch of these bags, which I believe were discounted because of the damage on them. And he said, screw it.
Them.
You couldn't return them. Wow. So
that's why I opened. Yeah.
That's why you opened all yours, right?
That's why I opened the rest of my 1,000 and how I found the RDJ sketch, because I was opening them all to return them. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to report the numbers that are the sketches. So like almost everybody did, we opened them all up, kept the sketches, reported the rest. And it was a complete credit on the next invoice. So this dude could have got a refund.
$70,000 he spent on them because they were $699. So he paid $350 a piece. And if he bought 20,000, that's 70 grand.
So if he didn't report those damage, then that's his fault. He probably just didn't have time to open them all up before
because
he needed the number of reported damages.
And I think he's selling those pretty cheap, right? 130, 150.
That's about right. Depending on the artist.
No, I know, but like, is that because they made too many of them?
No.
Well, they're all damaged too. They all have the damage from the blind bags.
Yeah, they have the damage, but it's just they're not cool. So you got a cool head sketch.
Yeah.
On a cover that the issue's not really that hot anymore.
Well,
it never wasn't hot in the first place.
It wasn't.
Here's the interesting thing. I don't see any of those sketches available on his site anymore. Did you take them all down?
Oh, no way.
Way to go, troll. You trolled him out of the business.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see anything available on his site anymore for those sketches unless I'm...
And then who knows, who's ever heard of Got Comics?
Well... I mean, I get it.
Sold? Did he sell them all?
I don't know. If I look up sketch, right? If I search sketch in his
sold,
sketch. Let me see here. SKE.
Got 24 items sold. 24,000 items sold.
There's zero items available for sketch, but if I look at one, there's just one sold at 361 for this sketch cover.
Corey Smith. Sold for 361.
361. So what happened to the other ones? Are they still available? Like, what's going on here?
Not on his site.
And here's the interesting thing.
Letting it cool down.
You know, Big Clutch says, did Penguin Random House maybe sell these bulks at discount like Diamond would do?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they offered. I got an email offering. They still have boatloads of them. If you wanted them, you can order as many as you want.
Were they discounted more than 50%?
I think so. If you bought a certain amount, yeah. If you reached out to the rep, you could probably get them a little cheaper. But
interesting.
I didn't do it, but yeah, they emailed me.
Someone said, "Look at unsold."
How do you look at unsold? I mean,
unsold would just be anything listed.
Yeah, right. And nothing comes out.
But if it's up for auction, that's like usually 7 or 10 days. And then he hasn't relisted them. Buy it now is automatically relists, but auctions end, and then you have to relist them.
Yeah, he actually made an Instagram just to comment in my comments to everybody.
Somebody check on that guy. He lost 70 grand and he took all the sketches down because of trolls.
Thank you, Clutch. Clutch said it was the wrong link. And that he sent me the actual link. Where'd you send it, Clutch? Into my Instagram or to Google? Let me see here. That's why I love having people like Clutch around. He sent it to my Google. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's the actual collector. Got Comics. Thank you, Clutch. Here they all are. Look at these. I mean, it is unreal the amount of sketches he has. Phil Noto, Mark Bagley, Ron Lim, Todd Knock. I mean, he must have like said, "Hey, this is a great deal. I'm going to buy all of them."
Yeah.
Look at these.
That's all buy it nows too. So
the risk was if you bought knowing they were all damaged, you got a big discount. You couldn't return them.
Yeah,
there was no return on them.
Oh, some colored ones.
So that was the big.
It's
that's why I didn't do a
unreal.
reorder. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna.
So what was the big sketch everybody really wanted? Who was
Robert
the-
Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
Sean got. Sean got one of them.
Yeah. But I
How
mean,
many did you buy, Sean?
1,000.
See,
Got lucky.
Yeah. Do you still have it?
No, I sold it at Golden and went for way less than I thought it would go for.
Really?
well, we can look it up. So why don't you just tell us?
62, 65, I think.
6,500.
Not
Yeah.
65.
What do you think it was going to go for?
Like
10.
10,
10.
15, 20-ish.
Well,
I still regret going to
all I know
I
is
regret
that
going to
I am
Golden.
I am a complete shiller, and I have a Mark Spears Garbage Pail Kids 1 of 1 unholy grail behind me because of my boy Sean over at Comics Elite, where you guys can use the promo code Beyond10 to get 10% off at
I mean, that's the only reason
comicselite.com.
why I'm here. That's the only reason why I'm on the
That's
show.
the only
because
reason
I
why
bought-
Sean's here on the show.
I
Exactly.
had to bribe my way out. I haven't done shit in the industry. I don't know anything. I had to buy my way on with a slab.
Yeah.
We love the honesty.
Yeah, man.
Because Brian's that much of a slut. Dude. You just gotta pay him a slab and he'll put you on his fucking show.
As long as Garbage Pail Kids or G.I. Joe, I'm in, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's very interesting. Like, is that the play though? Like, was this guy playing the smart play? Was he like, okay, there's a ton of these.
He's got no symbol for his company. He's got no avatar. He's got nothing. This is his store.
a bunch of people were saying that they think that it's a big comic shop and that this is their burner account. You know, this is not just some regular guy that's got comics.
I mean, where's all that feedback coming from? Yeah, what? 1,200 feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,246. 4,000 items
4,000.
sold.
That doesn't look like a burner account.
No, but
Well, there's no
I
picture,
guess
no nothing.
was he the smart one? Was he the smart one? Let's be honest. Like, if he sells these aren't sold yet. Let's look at sold.
Does it show the address?
He's not.
of the city
He's
they're
not
from?
smart if he didn't return the other 70,000.
Listen, I don't believe at all that he didn't fight to get his money back. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, look at some of
Do I
these
think-
sold
Do I
ones.
think that they told him, fine, I don't care, don't send us 20,000 books back? You know, yeah, probably, but
He sold some of them, and let's be honest, that might be
Sold
the
a bunch.
smart play. Like, he's thinking in his head, they're not going to want me
750.
to send all these back.
Is
They're
that
just going to say, fuck it.
Oh, peach.
Yeah,
Yep.
650 for a
for-
peach,
Peach ones were for big.
750
for
for a
another one.
peach, 1,000 for a peach, 750 for a
Wow.
peach. So he could be the smart one in all this that said, hey, Marvel isn't going to want me to return all these because it's a pain in the ass for them. They're just going to send me my money. I'm going to open them all for the fucking sketches, and I'll have some freebies to throw into every single one of my orders moving forward. You know what I mean? Shout
No
out to
freebies
Rye
for the
with the super chat. He says, "Agreed, Sean. I only subscribe at Diamond tier to you
you.
for no reason. LOL."
Appreciate that. It's my
Yeah.
Patreon. Appreciate you, Rye.
Hell yeah.
Rye's one of the good ones.
One of the
dude.
good guys. I mean, let's be honest. Would you guys? I mean, is that a chance you guys would take that Marvel's not going to ask you to return them all because it's going to cost them more money, and they're just going to say, "Hey, we'll give you your money back"?
well, he wasn't counting on these, you know, when he ordered them for them to be damaged. You know, he was going to try and, you know, rip them all open.
But didn't
regardless.
Lunar say that the damaged ones are a percentage off?
Well, it was Penguin.
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 They said, "Hey, because these are all damaged, we're going to give you a percentage off." And then Marvel still has that rule out there that says, "Hey, we'll return them for you." You know, was there no talking between Penguin and Marvel on this?
So in my experience, Marvel said that I had to send, you know, the cut covers to them on my dime.
Oh,
And
wow.
I said, listen, I ordered 2,000 of these. I'm not doing that. I'll show you me burning them or throwing them away or whatever, but I'm not paying to ship these out to you. And they're like, well, you won't be able to do an exclusive for 6 months. I was like, oh, Marvel? All right. Like, I don't care.
Like, oh no.
I'm like, I'll literally show you the trash, like taking them. Like they're trash, like they're worthless. Like,
So what ended up happening? You said, okay, I'm okay being not able to do a Marvel exclusive for 6 months?
yeah. And they just reimbursed. They didn't care.
Wow. So maybe this guy's the smart one on this one, to be honest. You know?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they were like, hey, here's your money back. These books are all damaged. I don't even care. You know what I mean? It's a write-off for Marvel at the end of the day. And this guy just has a bunch of, sketch covers that, he was hoping that he could have, clean covers, but, he's got these damaged ones, so he's selling them.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
But it was funny. So many people thought it was a collation issue where like he just had one box full of 57 sketches,
Well, that's
Which has
another
happened.
crazy thing that's
It's
going on. Speaking of printers, we've heard about these blind bags causing printers to have major issues moving forward. The original Mark Spears Halloween blind bags with Transcontinental, there was major issues with them, with a collation issue, and Transcontinental basically said, hey, we're the only person in town, only printer in town that's willing to do these blind bags. We're going to keep doing it the way we are, or you're just going to have to be good with it or go find another printer. These printers are being put in these really weird situations because of the way the industry is with retailer exclusive variants, blind bags, and we just heard, Sean, about a new printer going out of business, right?
Wellspring.
Yeah, Comics Wellspring went out. They closed their doors unexpectedly, very unexpectedly to a lot of people. They were one of the printers. I don't think they were doing high volume printing. I think they were a digital printer. Yeah, there you go.
One of my local artists did two of his trades through them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him today, and he didn't know. He was very disappointed to find out because he's working on his third trade and he hasn't, now he has to find another printer. And most other printers, he said, were 3 times the cost of Wellspring when he got quotes.
What was 3 times the cost of Wellspring?
Of the printing.
Oh, well, that's probably why they went out of business.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, that's why they're gone. That's why they're gone.
I mean, go ahead. You want to read that, Brian?
Yeah, it says, a message to our customers, to our valued customers, we sincerely apologize, but due to unforeseen operational challenges, Comic Wellspring, owned and operated by Carta Finishing, must temporarily suspend accepting new orders and halt production at this time. Any orders that may have not been completed will be fully refunded. Our team will be reaching out to the affected customers additional information in the near future. Over the past week, we have been working with the original founders of Comic Wellspring, Greco Printing, to remove the previous non-compete restrictions that prevented them from printing comic books. As a result, they are once again able to provide comic printing services. If you are looking to print your project with a trusted printer, we encourage you to contact Gecko Printing for a quote. Their team has decades of experience producing comics and would be happy to discuss your project and available options. We are truly grateful for the support and the trust you have shown Comics Wellspring over the years. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your understanding during this difficult time. Thank you.
Yeah, what it seems like is a company that, they bought into this, right? And then the previous owners, they had them sign a 10-year do not compete, like most businesses do when you get bought out. And they just didn't know how to make money, So now they're like, hey, we got all these people that need stuff printed, so you guys can, start doing it again. Like, we'll take that do not compete away.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's the only thing that they can do in order to not cause people to be super pissed. Well, here's my question. Sean, you are a comic book printer. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
I would love to know more. They were around for a while.
What's a
I'm
while?
just making
How many years?
Well, 10 years ish.
10 years?
At least.
I think, at least 10 years. I can make some assumptions, and I know, and I make these assumptions based on things that I'm dealing with or have dealt with. Is once you depreciate all that machinery on your taxes, and you've exhausted all means to make ends meet, you think margins are thin in comics? Talk about printing. You're talking about a half of a penny per sheet could make or break you on a project. It's that thin. And if you have too much waste on stuff you printed because you can't get the settings right, that's gonna burn you. If your paper supplier can't give you a good enough pricing, or if you can't buy enough in bulk to get the good pricing, that's going to hurt you. So you can only operate as a zero profit business or even a break even business, right, for so long until something hits. Oh, you're just one burst pipe away from closing your doors forever. Ink is expensive. A lot of the ink comes with the maintenance plans. So if you have a maintenance plan on your machine, you're paying per click. That covers the ink and the maintenance and the parts and that kind of stuff. But it can be bad. What I think happens with a lot of these businesses, and we've seen it happen in comics, in printing, in exclusive world, somebody comes in, they're trying to hook people up by giving them a great price because they want to be the man and they're the cheapest in town and they're the best game in town, and then eventually catches up to them, and they have no choice but to close their doors. You can only take so many working capital loans and use so many credit cards and business lines of credit and SBA loans if you can qualify for one, until you just run out of money. And it looks like that's something that maybe happened with them. They did say close their doors temporarily, which is interesting to me. And also to do this right before San Diego,
maybe they have the explosive diarrhea from the parasite.
That's like Target closing a week before Black Friday, like right before San Diego, one of the biggest events in the comic book world. And you're a printer and you're refunding orders, because I heard they refunded orders to people that had pending orders for San Diego. Like, holy crap, that's nuts. That is nuts.
And how damaging is that? So many exclusives go through there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people that can pick up the slack, really.
Greco.
Yeah. Well, Artist Express is one of the best ones in the industry. We're the second best in the industry. If anybody needs printing, Joint Force Printing.
Where can they get a hold of you, Sean?
Joint Force Printing. Just go to the website, and
that's the name of your printing company.
Yep, Joint Force Printing.
So your publishing company doesn't own your printing company?
No, it's a completely separate business. Has a separate manager. I go over there maybe twice a month. I'm not like over there like, oh, what are you doing with this? Like, I stay out of it. It's their business. I own it, but she runs it. She manages it.
Do they do like local things, like local postcards, advertising, anything like that? Or they only do comics?
No, they can do all that stuff.
So they do. Yeah, they're picking up more jobs than just comics.
Yeah, they can do flyers.
Yeah.
A smaller printer, you're better off getting some like business cards, for example. We can't compete with Vistaprint or any place you Google online. We can't compete with those prices.
But short run local pamphlets and stuff and flyers got to be good business, because people come up with them and they need them in a faster turnaround.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, brother. We're good for the really, I need this by Friday. Like, we got you, no problem. Yep. Or can I have these for this con in 2 weeks? No one else will take me. Like, sure, you're paying a rush fee, but we got it. Wedding invitations, no, not really. That's too fancy. We got to order special paper and ugh, no.
George keeps bringing up why people are thinking about break-even businesses.
Because we're in comics.
Yeah, I mean, if one part of your business is break even, it can support or make money for another part of your business. It's
Listen,
it's
and for a
it's
lot of
shell
us too,
game.
we love this more than logically making money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like if I do a really cool book and it breaks even and I did something cool, at the end of the day, it's a win, you know? If it makes money, yeah, awesome. I get to do more money for another thing. But a lot of times, like break even is awesome. Like
yeah, a lot of it is passion, like Troll said, but then a lot of it too is it's clout and ego. I mean, clout is really the new currency nowadays. People will fake so much stuff just to look like they're cool or they're successful or they got money or whatever it is. I mean, how many people have walked by Scott Snyder booth, jumped in for a picture with him? They didn't even shake his hand. He got a quick picture, and that's their thumbnail for every Whatnot show for the next 7 months. And they want everyone to think like, "Oh, look, I know Scott Snyder." No, you don't, bro. You stole the picture. He was nice enough to give it to you. Like it's just it happens all the time. So people want to just be the
I met Todd in Vegas at the retailer convention. This is how amazing Todd is. I asked him to do a quick short, 30-second short for my shop, and he did it first take. Remember the name of the shop, where it was. Like
I don't think there's anybody that even gets close to Todd on that in that matter because he loves the fans more than. There's only one person that I can think of that gets close to it, and that is Robert Kirkman. And the way that Todd makes you feel as a fan makes you feel so important. I've heard so many stories about people catching him walking through a con and said, "Hey, Todd, I got into comics because of your book." And he'll say, "Do you let me know more?" He'll talk about it more. Or somebody will say, "Hey, I got into comics and I started drawing comics because of you." "Oh, what do you draw? What is your name of your comic? Let me know. Hey, give me a copy." Like he'll stop and talk to you. And again, this goes full circle to back to the beginning, where we talked about how important it is for creators to give a little bit of hope to fans out there, because that hope turns into the next generation of comic creators, right? I mean, there's so many comic creators in this business that have showed their art to Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Robert Kirkman, J. Scott Campbell, these guys, and they've gave them a little bit of love and saying, "Hey, fix this, and I think that you can be in comics." And they fix it, and they're the next big comic artist, or they're the next person that's doing the next big Kickstarter. You know, that is beyond important. And I agree with you, Emmett. I think that Todd McFarlane, there's two guys who I think could be, actually there's three guys who I think could be ambassadors of comicdom that can fill the spot of Stan Lee, and that is Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Robert Kirkman. Those three guys they love this medium more than, and they show it more than anybody I can think of. You know what I mean? Jack DeMeo says Rob Liefeld read Sweet Death. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like these are the guys that will foster the next generation of comic creators because they've been there. They've been where these people are.
Yeah.
So
I'd say Snyder's up there because he taught at NYU. He's taught a lot of writers, and some of them are already working in comics.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. What else we got this week? Anything interesting you guys this week that we've seen in the comic industry, or the comic industry of comic show?
That's actually in the industry. Not really. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know if I buy one of every independent that comes out through Lunar and Penguin, and there is a fuck ton being put out. There's a
Yeah.
lot.
So I read a lot of that stuff, and man, it's just like always. There's some really good stuff out there that are surprising, but there's a lot of garbage out there. Just it's all subjective, blah blah blah. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You want my opinion? There's a
I
lot of
was just gonna
garbage
talk
being
about
produced.
banana number one. I was just gonna talk
Yeah,
about
man.
that.
Let's talk about this. Let me hear about this.
So it's a bad idea
It's a
book,
surprise.
right? And
My wife ordered.
tell me you got the 1 in 20 with you. Tell me you got the 1 in 20, dude.
It sold
You gotta
earlier
show
today.
us. Oh, it's
It
sold.
got claimed. It got claimed. We do, like Sean, we kind of do pre-order or whatever, and
Yeah.
dude, everybody's been wanting this shit. It's a one shot. I haven't read it yet. I don't know how many people came in to pre-order this. It is insane. So luckily, my wife ordered like 60 copies, different covers. There's a glow in the dark one too that came out with it, so it's pretty cool. But
It's fucking funny.
It's
really funny. Yeah, it's weird.
It's
You have
wacky.
to be in for
it is totally off the wall, wacky, but it's fun. You know what I mean? Like,
it remind me of Flaming Carrot. Y'all remember Flaming Carrot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, hey, it's like
This book is nothing like Flaming Carrot.
No.
Listen,
It's way funnier. It's
I was
out there.
ordering books, and my wife saw the 1 in 20 and was like, "You need to order that just because of the 1 in 20." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know who's gonna buy banana, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude.
who knows? You know?" And it's actually pretty good though. But the 1 in 20 is amazing.
I only bought 5 because I'm in a very small market, and they're all claimed. I was like, where were you guys? I would have bought 10. If 5 people wanted it, I would have bought 10. They're like, oh, I didn't even see this. I didn't even know about it. That's a problem now too. Yeah, the internet, it's all over the internet.
There's so much.
FOCs, it's really hard for people to find a good place. I mean, I got a lot of people going to League of Comic Geeks. Cover Price has it, but I mean, even League of Comic Geeks, it's not that easy to find the FOC on your phone. Like if you're on your webpage, you can find it, but on the phone, it's a lot harder to find. I actually saved it on my phone so I can go to the new releases and the FOCs right away. But like searching the web, their app, not fun, and also not easy as a retailer to use it for customers from your phone, which is kind of painful.
Yeah, I think Banana number one might be one of those books that just like it wasn't on anybody's radar, and then everybody's like, "You get Banana number one?" Like,
well, I remember my wife asked me, she goes, "You think I should get a lot?" I was like, "It's up to you." And when she did, so we're like, I'm only gonna be left with 5 or 10 for the show after 60 copies.
That's awesome.
Insane.
I ordered 0. It was.
I think they're available right now.
Yeah, nowhere on our radar. Didn't know anything about it. I probably skipped over because it looked terrible to me on FOC.
Yeah, I know you're like, there's a banana.
Not a single pre-order for it. So yeah, woo, missed that one completely.
Well, all I can say is shout out to Bad Idea.
Yeah,
It was a good idea apparently.
Yes, the interior is pretty cool.
Well, that being
the
said,
art is good.
we are going to have Sienna come hang out with us on the show hopefully next week. Tomorrow night, here's something interesting for you guys. John Bowlerjack's going to join us tomorrow night to talk about the Stan Lee.
Good. It's tomorrow night.
And I have seen it. I will say this. I have seen it, and it's a very interesting movie. I'll say that.
Oh.
Very interesting movie. So,
okay.
John Bowlerjack tomorrow night, Wednesday night review. All right. What do you guys got coming up for your guys' shops? Emmett, you got anything coming up this week?
Not this week. We will be scheduling our next show on eBay Live. I'm going to be posting that sometime this week, when it'll be and what it'll be, and then that's I think that's it. I mean, we're, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're it's just every day. It's just the same. Like every day is like Groundhog Day. Business is just like comes through the door every day, and it's great. And collection after collection, and got some unbelievable Nintendo stuff today. I bought 27 long boxes from another dealer last week that turned out to be fucking fire. It's great when they don't even look in the box. Yeah, so
I just want to know when you're going to sell those 4 cases of Spawn number 1 you keep talking about. You have in your back rooms. So.
Go.
I don't, but that
Gotta
was
get them
that was the 90s, man. That was the 90s.
I want to know when you do
they're buried under
I
your
wanna grab one of those.
They're buried under your X-Men number 1s.
Yeah, those two. Like everybody was doing it then.
There you go. What about you, Steven? Anything coming up at Most Wanted Comics this week?
Just going through a bunch of stuff that we purchased Sunday. People traveling in, bringing all kinds of stuff. Well, sorry, Emmett, but where is it at? One of my guys was pretty cool. Detective Comics 92, like stuff like this that came in.
Oh wow,
man, look at
bro!
Wow,
Dude, I got
5-0.
some really nice stuff that came in. I mean, man, it's been an awesome weekend and insane weekend. Huge amount of people. I think us announcing our larger location has drawn in so many new people. It's been awesome. So I can see one of our customers on here. He bought a book from us today. Gave us a shout out. That's pretty cool. And I got some submissions. I do submit for some of our customers. This one was signed by Daphne King, X23.
Nice.
That's cool.
I
that's
got
cool.
been waiting on a good shipment to come in. That's coming in this week.
I've never seen her up for signing. That's a
I don't
cool
remember
signature.
the person's name for Lunar. You said that was gonna be next week, Brian?
Christina, yeah, it's going to be on the 11th,
So,
right? I believe
One
the
of my
11th.
questions, one of
August,
the
yeah.
questions I have from a customer. Y'all probably got some of these in, maybe. Emmett.
Yeah.
Marvel's dropping these this coming Wednesday, next week.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. In time for the Spider-Man movie, right?
I did not buy those.
No, I stopped ordering those.
Man, I sell these like candy, man. People
Good.
buy
Good
them
for
all
you,
with the book.
What do you charge?
They're $14.99.
Okay, yeah.
So
Wish they were a
one
little
of the
bit thicker.
questions was,
I bought 7 cases when Diamond was going out of business.
oh yeah, they were
Yeah,
marked
they
down.
were $1.68 for 25.
Oh, that's
Or-
great. You
or-
just use
no,
them as
for
regular
5.
short boxes.
For $5.68 for 5.
Fire sale. They're getting rid of
Yeah,
everything.
it's cheaper than normal short boxes.
Yeah,
Way cheaper. But
yeah.
so a question to the customer was like, when is DC gonna come out with these short boxes? I get that all the time.
They
I don't
probably
know what
won't.
happened with that.
DC does NECA. Was it NECA that used to make them?
But NECA, it's licensed though. Marvel doesn't make them. NECA licenses it from
Yeah.
Marvel to make the
Yeah.
short boxes.
But some reason after
Dark Knight's
the whole
Metal
thing
was the
with-
last one for DC. I think it was
the whole
Dark
thing
Knight's
with
Metal.
Diamond, it all stopped. Nobody ain't seen nothing in years. But that's one of my questions. I think DC Lunar get together, I think I would sell a crap ton of these boxes.
Oh
Easily.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolute Batman, slap on Absolute Batman on there or something else.
Oh,
Just anything DC,
Couldn't agree
But
more.
that's yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
This is a better
Batman
image.
boxes
This is a
would be
better
so
image.
huge.
There you go.
Yes, that is it. So that's a customer of mine, David Hernandez. He turned that in. He met her at the MegaCon, so we submitted for him. So
Oh
Very
wow!
cool.
I didn't
I
know
got
she
another
was
book.
signing at cons.
yeah. She grew
Go
up. She definitely got hotter with age.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah, he got to meet her, so we helped him out. So I got a few more coming this week actually. They just shipped out yesterday, so that's pretty cool. Sorry, Emmett. I'm in the grading world.
I know, man. It's okay.
One day.
It's okay. I say that
try.
people, if you're going to sell the book, you should grade the book because
Oh,
you'll
I
get the
got you.
maximum amount. Just because I mean, I understand how business works. My thing is people who are grading them to keep them for 20 years. and sell them when they die, or their family's going to sell it. That company may not be the leader in the industry in 20 years. They may be out through scandals, through anything else. Everybody says no. I mean, they could crumble very easily. A big bad economic downturn, it could really crush these grading companies because people can't afford the $79 for a sports card, or what is it, $49 now to get a graded book, or is it still $29?
In 20 years, comics could be out of business.
Yep.
Nah, people have been saying that forever. Human beings are tied to storytelling. It's just in us.
Yeah, I think I always say that comics will be around because we're hunter-gatherers by nature, right? The more shit you have, the more you survive. It's your chance to survive the winter. Way back when we were on the frozen tundra of wherever we came from. So it's in our nature to just hoard shit. So that's why.
And people think too much of themselves. We're just stupid animals.
Yeah.
That's why marketing works. That's why all this fucking marketing works.
Like look behind Most Wanted. That's why comics will never go out of business, because he has a storage unit full of shit too. He said, right, 2 or 3 of them.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and you can.
You ever want to lighten that load? Let me know.
You got enough shit, Emmett. We need an intervention.
Better buy that store first.
How many of those hubcaps have you sold?
I actually sold 2 sets last month. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That being said, JC, what do you got coming up this week? Anything interesting?
Working with Matthew Waite on this Nephi Wars cover. So we're doing a Final Fantasy VII homage. And it's going to be nasty.
Speaking of that,
the Nephi Wars guys are really hype about it.
I did get these in the mail the other day. I got.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So these will be available on Sunday night if anybody's interested in these. I have 2 issues. I have an issue 1 and an issue 2 that I will be putting up for sale with one of these blind bags, and then these blind bags will be available Sunday night to help pay for my San Diego Comic-Con trip, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. But yeah, shout out to the Nephi Wars guys.
And they're sold out now. So.
You got to bookmark that show.
Ooh,
You can't get them anywhere. You got like pretty much the last couple. It's good to wait till the end, you know.
Well, they sent me a great. Yeah, they're at a con this week, right? They're out in Florida, I believe, for like SuperCon. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
SuperCon. Yeah.
So they did like JC said, they sold out, which is amazing, and they had a great con at SuperCon, and it was so cool to see them. I don't know if you guys are following their website, but make sure you guys following them. They've been having great posts. This is them in their alien rental car. So
that was a cool rental. It literally was a NASA logo on the side of it too.
I told them I geeked out so much on that rental car. I don't know where it is, but I geeked out on it big time because I'm a NASA nerd, and I grew up in that industry. So shout out to those guys for doing cool things, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get them on a show here soon to talk about their Florida SuperCon. And again, San Diego Comic-Con is coming up, which is going to be crazy soon. So, what else you got coming up, JC?
I got working on a blind bag with Andy Dusso.
Ooh.
So it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
dude, he's so underrated, dude. Like, it's crazy how many artists. Oh, a huge thing I got working on. So remember I told you before the show started about my 4 chickens that got killed when I was at C2E2?
Yeah. Rest in peace.
I wrote this book called Badass Mother Cluckers, and it's about the last night of, how they went out fighting before they died fighting this fox, right? So I have Rodney Ramos that did Toxic Avenger and did Thundercats for Marvel doing the interiors for me right now.
Wow.
So
cool.
Yeah. So it was funny because he's like, nah, dude, I've been out of the game for so many years, but send me the story and I'll see. And he calls me back and he's like, dude, this is amazing. He's freaking out. He's like, I'm doing this. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I gotta do this, dude. Like,
I love
it's so
that.
good.
I love
that.
that.
Man.
Hell yeah.
Are you in the comic too, Joe?
Yeah, so I wrote a couple hit children's books back when COVID happened and everything. And then I have I wrote a comic series, Chills from the Grave, which is one story that I wrote, and then like some old classic horror stories. And then I wrote this one now, Badass Mother Cluckers, because I literally like anytime something bad happens, you know, my creative outlet like is always writing about it, right? So I wrote this story about like how like they didn't just get killed easy, you know what I mean? Like they really put up a huge fight, and it's a horror story, so it's like a lot of blood and gore and like crazy, you know, jump scares, and it's pretty crazy. But
You put yourself in that book?
No, I didn't put myself in it, but there is the farmer.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rye, who just dropped the super chat saying we're gonna have Troll back, right? You're damn right. We're gonna have Troll back. So Troll is welcome to come back any show that he is willing to jump on with. So shout out to Troll.
You just gotta send Brian a slab.
yeah. Garbage Pail slab. Yeah.
I'm a slab of that mother.
I think this might be a little bit bigger than that.
There we go. Look at that. Look at
Todd
that.
sketch.
Yeah, we're gonna shill away.
That's good for about 5 shows.
What
Yeah,
did
shill
that come
away.
in?
Shill away.
What did that?
You know,
What did that come in?
my
Did that
pants.
come
What
in
do you mean? No, joking.
No, I mean, how did you get the book? Is it?
Oh,
It's a 1 in
so
1,000.
So what happened was for this the Gunslinger 50, the Scorch 50, and the King Spawn 50, Todd put out a thing where he did 50 sketches, right? But you have all these retailers. So I did the first King Spawn one. I got a John Glapion, which is
Shout out
who,
to Jonathan Glapion killing
Nice.
the new series.
yeah,
Shirley
which,
Johnson.
you know, everything going on
Yeah.
with him with you know, not getting paid,
Yep.
which is crazy.
Yep.
And then I did the, you know, after this one, the first one, my wife was like, "You're never gonna get a Todd. Like, you just gotta give up. He only did 50 of them." You know what I mean? So I did the next 2, and I got 2 Todds. So
I haven't
Nice.
had a Todd yet.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
if you order 1,000, it comes. You get a sketch. You get the 4, 1, and 250s.
And then I got
And
this
then-
one too. Check this
Yeah.
out.
I did buy
Nice.
1,000 King Spawn #1s,
Beautiful.
So I hit the lottery twice.
but
you
I
know?
didn't get I didn't get a sketch.
So
Oh no,
that's
dude,
what's
they're
on.
super rare, bro.
So those are what's sitting on top of your Spawn #1s.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So mine are all signed because my nephew wrote it. So
There
Oh,
you go.
nice.
yeah.
That's pretty
Sean,
Yeah,
what about
they're
Comic
20,000
Sleep?
blind bags. I love it.
What do we got coming up in
Uh,
Comic Sleep this week?
Well, you want to share my screen real quick? I got Garrett Gunn has 2
Oh, this
TMNT
is so
covers
cool.
we're pre-selling tomorrow.
Oh yes.
This one here, the blank. This is a blank. It's on blank sketch paper.
That's
Oh,
so
that's
cool.
I love this so much. It was like pulling teeth to get this approved. I don't know why, but they finally approved it. This is a super fun one also. It's his first TMNT covers ever for Garrett Gunn. So those pre-sales are tomorrow.
We had Garrett
then-
on Wednesday's show, Sean, and it was fan-freaking-tastic, my friend.
He's
Fantastic.
such a good dude.
He is
He'll
such
be-
a good
he'll be-
dude.
It'll be live in the store next week, next Wednesday. We're hoping to drop these live also on Whatnot. And then for Whatnot shows, we have our Nephi Wars blind bag is going to be on Whatnot tomorrow at 6.
Dude, you're gonna crush it with those.
Again, they're sold out. We've already sold 100. We ordered another 200, so this will be 300 total that we're going to be selling. We only have like 50 for this drop. We're kind of spacing them out. And then live with Tristan Thompson on the 24th. So just go to Whatnot, search Comics Elite. There's all the
Who's the
YouTube
brunette?
stuff. We got lots of
Those are mama books.
Who's the
Amen.
brunette?
yeah. This is
No, not that one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
This is Shikari's Gun Honey cover.
That's a drawing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Shikari's art.
Wow.
Yeah, he draws
I
the
need to get better
hyper-realistic.
glasses.
It takes
All
some.
foggy right now.
I mean, he gets accused of AI more than anybody. But if you use AI, you realize it's not AI. If you're familiar with it, it's not AI. It takes him 40 to 60 hours to complete a cover. He puts all the work in progress on his social medias. But yeah, these are all shared with 616. We're dropping our portion of these. Of course, that's a TMNT. That's way out in August though, but that's a Bjorn Brandis. That's shared.
Great cover.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
shared with Comic Kingdom Creative. But yeah, lots of cool whatnot shows coming up. So we just did a signing with Carla and Lucio on Sunday in Miami.
Ooh.
We've been selling those books signed by Carla and Lucio for the last 2 nights. There's probably some more going to be dropped probably tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, we got 300 books each signed by them. So a lot of fun with those, a lot of absolute stuff. We sold the old school Naughty and Nice Comics Elite variant that Carla did. She did a quick little heart remark on it. It sold for like $200. It was pretty awesome.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Everybody falls in love with her. You don't have to do anything, and you're gonna fall in love with her immediately. So, shout out to Carla Cohen. Okay, what do we got coming up for Beyond Wednesdays? Tomorrow night, John Bowlerjack will join us to talk about the Stan Lee documentary. It's going to be very interesting, and we also have two pre-sale drops, maybe one pre-sale drop for San Diego Comic-Con variants. For those of you guys who aren't going to be able to make it to San Diego Comic-Con, we'll have some pre-sale links that will be dropped in the live chat for everybody who's hanging out with us in the live chat. Also, I will be doing a eBay live sale for cards on Thursday night. I had a crazy monsoon storm here in the valley on Monday night, which killed my internet. So it moved the card sale from Monday night to Thursday night. And then I should be getting everybody's sales who bought comics from us on Sunday night. We're going to start packaging those up tomorrow. So you should hopefully see some tracking on those tomorrow. But we'll have card sale on Thursday night. Link is in the chat. And San Diego Comic-Con is coming up, you guys. It's going to be crazy this year. I can't wait. As you guys know, every year the San Diego Comic-Con is the reset for Beyond Wednesdays and Brian McClay. And I'm hoping to get my hands on some great psychedelic mushrooms to make that reset happen. And we'll see you guys there. The Bad Idea Party, Tiki Party is always the place to be for that moment of that reset. And if you guys are going to be at the Bad Idea Tiki Party, make sure you stop by and say hello. Sienna is going to join us from Bad Idea, I believe, next Wednesday to talk about some new books from Bad Idea, including that great Banana book and multiple other books. They put out a great a Megalith book this week that was amazing. Shout out to Bad Idea, doing great things. And then that being said, thank you to everybody that hangs out with us and supports Beyond Wednesdays. Thanks you to everybody that donated memberships tonight. Appreciate you, Kevin. Appreciate everybody that donated super chats tonight. Rye, KRS Comics, multiple people that dropped super chats tonight. You guys are the reason, 50% of the reason why we do this. The other 50% is hanging out with these guys in the chat right here. There we go. Right there. Who get to hang out with me every week and make this show amazing. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Adios.